Hey, what's happening? Normal Mac Show host robnoerr. So I'm going on a little mini vacation here, and I could help my wife pack, but let's be honest, I'm just a hindrance. This is just stay out of the way, So I thought the best thing I could do is come yell about non-political issues. How's that sound? It's kind of political, anyways. We're gonna talk about culture stuff. Whee! I don't know. Whatever I feel like. Why not? I didn't sleep very good. My back still hurts. Thought a lot last night about whether or not calling some lady the C word because she asked me to criticize Trump 6 times in a 20-second period was too much. And I've decided no. I've decided it was just the right amount of I don't know. Sometimes I regret that stuff. I do forget. It's sort of weird. Imagine it's like what being like a stand-up comic or something is. Where it's like sometimes you're saying shit and you forget that they're like it's not like in your personal life with like a group of friends. It's like this is forever. I stand up and start yelling and screaming, and 20 years from now, my son's, an adult, and someone's like, "So your dad 20 years ago called some woman C word because he's asking to criticize Trump?" It's like, well, yeah, that was dad. And my dad's way worse than me. Like my dad's got like the saltiest language you ever hear. He just don't give a shit. Me, I try to be a little more professional from time to time. Like when I was running for Congress, my dad was like, "Here's what your motto should be: vote for me, fuck the other guy." That's my dad, you know. But I don't know. I warned them yesterday, and I was in a pissy mood because my back hurt. Oh, John's on at the same time? No shit. Probably go watch John. I don't have much to say today. I was just bored. It was this or play video games, and I was like, come stream. At least share my boring back pain morning with my audience, right? That's what I thought. Yeah, I've told this story, but when I qualified for the national debate tournament, I go back. I'm having dinner with my parents, and my mom's like, "What was like the final debate? What was the argument that you won?" And I was like, "Oh, I can't remember specifically. It was like missile defense, and I was like, we were talking about like naval defense and what we should do, and blah 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 blah." If I was on Rumble, I'd tell you the actual word. But I talk about the round, and my dad's just sitting there quietly eating, doesn't say a word. He's like, "I'd have just called him a bunch of fucking insert homophobic slur." I was like, "Man, it's a good argument, but surprisingly ineffective with left-wing judges." If my dad was the judge at these debate tournaments, I'd have cleaned up. I know exactly the type of argument he's looking for. So, that day shift back. I would love to go back to doing the call-in shows, but because I was getting so many trolls. What happens is people will call in and troll, and then they'll use slurs, and then immediately report you. And since I have a lot of ops that have acknowledged they're trying to get the channel taken down, I'm trying to be a little more prudent. So we will come up with the solution here inevitably, but in the meantime, while some things go on behind the scenes, we're gonna wait it out and see what I could do. Yeah, there are ops on the block. That's certainly true. I don't know. I don't know if Day Shift will be able to reach the goal or not today. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you where the money's going. Any amounts of money. Now, the way it works, a little inside baseball here is, depending on what platform you're donating on, the money comes through at different times. So, I don't know, right? I assume, Cash App and PayPal's, there immediately. I'll be honest, I just have, a card, and I swipe it. So I'll be like, look at that, a bag of chips. I'll swipe this card. And then sometimes my wife says, don't swipe that card because there's no money. That's it. That's how money works to me. I'm like, oh, okay, then I won't eat the chips. No soda for me. Okie dokie. Actually, I don't even drink soda. I like those Celsius drinks. I get those, you know. But that's the gist. The gist of what how it works for me. If you donate through like YouTube though, YouTube pays out like once a month. Rumble, I'm not so sure. Rumble, I think I just leave the money in there until it's like, oh shit, the car blew up. I wish I had money. And then my wife will be like, well, check Rumble. And I'll be like, oh, there's $1,000. Nice. Now I could buy a transmission. Like, that's sort of how it works. But I will say this. It's sort of fungible. The money's fungible. So if you donate money today, it's going to go to beef jerky snacks for my 7-hour drive to Louisville. I'm very excited. I was talking to my son. He's going to school for half a day, so we were coming up with different games to play in the car. He really likes playing like the guess the animal or guess the dinosaur I'm thinking of. He'll give you clues. He'll be like, this dinosaur has 3 horns and a big plate around its head, like things like that. But he's been really into sea monsters. So like he'll be describing to me in great detail, like the Kraken or Cthulhu, which is a little weird. It's like, and then he goes to Catholic preschool and he comes back and he's like, we talked about Cthulhu today in school. And I was like, Catholic preschool? They're talking about Lovecraft? What is happening? No, what it was my son was talking about Cthulhu. And they were like, yeah, okay. What is happening here? He's a big fan. He only knows like the plushy version of Cthulhu. You know? Like, oh, he's funny looking. He's got like tentacle mouth. It's like he's a cosmic horror beyond comprehension. Well, we've skipped that part. We just like the, we're the Funko Pop version of Cthulhu in this house. He's quite popular. So, I don't know. A little weird. Like, I think when I was his age, I liked like Daffy Duck, and my son likes Cthulhu. So, maybe a sign that I'm fucking up a little as a parent here. I don't know. Also, there was a little crossover video. It's like 4 minutes of Mickey Mouse with Bluey, and my son's a big fan. He likes Mickey and he likes Bluey. So there you go. I saw people describing it as like the Avengers Infinity War of children programming, like all the heroes coming together. So we're gonna cover non-politics stuff today, just some random stuff that I've seen on the internet that I go, I have something to say about that. In reality, I don't have much to say, or I at least haven't thought it through. That's the other thing. I think other people, I don't know, I have a backing. I have a moral framework for how I live my life. It's complicated. Like, I'm not the best understander of Christianity. I'm trying, For many years, I was an atheist, then I was just non-denominational. And, like, people, like, there are valid criticisms of my moral framework. Really? You call yourself Christian? Yeah. One of your best friends a gay dude? Yeah. You ever give him shit for it? No. Yeah, but. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. Yep, I pick and choose. It's what I never understood. All the people that are arguing, like all the secularists and shit that argue with like the ortho bros and stuff. Just bite the fucking bullet. Yeah, it's subjective. Yep. I'll be able to articulate why I think it's good, like from a practical, real world standpoint, the things I believe. Like for me, I don't know. I think that I could draw this from a biblical reference, but like my entire thing with like homosexuality is this. I can tolerate it. I'm not going to hate someone because they're gay. I'm willing to welcome into my political party people that are gay. I'll work with Scott Pressler and try to win elections. Yep, no problem. I'm not even going to treat him like shit or anything like that. Fine. As long as it's not in my face, do whatever the fuck you want. Right? Well, but it's fucking weird. And it will never not be weird. If you're gay, it's fucking gross and weird. And you're going to have to deal with that when you answer to your maker. That's it. I'm not going to freak the fuck out. Oh, that guy that's helping win elections is gay. That's fine. But it's fucking weird and gross. That's it. And, you know, I know there are people that are like more studious in Christianity that'll tell me like, but here's why it's a sin and it's like, yeah, I agree. You're right. Mm-hmm. I'll accept it, but it's weird and gross. That's it. So, you know, that's sort of how but anyways, what I was getting to is I think a lot of people, I saw this in the debate community. It's not that I didn't prep when I debated. It's that everything was a feeling. Like, I don't know how to explain this. You got in collegiate debate, right? The style debate I did. Here's the format. You have a team of two. One team's affirmative and one team's negative. Each partner on the team gives two speeches. The affirmative, which is 9 minutes, the constructive, which is 9 minutes, and the rebuttal, which is 6 minutes. So the first affirmative constructive, then the first negative constructive, then the second affirmative construction, then the second negative constructive. Then it reverses. First negative rebuttal, first affirmative rebuttal, second negative rebuttal, second affirmative rebuttal. So you're either the first affirmative or the second affirmative or the first negative. But you also have 3 minutes of cross-sex in between the constructive speeches. And then you have prep time. Each team gets 10 minutes of prep time that you could use as you see fit while the speeches aren't occurring. And you use this to prepare your speech. And I had my coach say to me once, he has never seen someone who wastes their prep time more than me. Like, I don't even know what to do during prep time. I'm just like doodling on a paper. And I was very good. I was good at debate. But a lot of times, I didn't know what I was going to say until I was saying it. I just start talking. I'm like, there's the answer. It's like you're thinking 5 seconds ahead of the words that are coming out of your mouth. And you're like, okay, I have an idea. I'm going to start talking. And then it's like, I see it. I see the argument that I'm going to go for. There it is. And it was different. So like my partner used all the prep time because we learned like, it's like, Rob, you're just fucking around. Like, what are you doing? You're wasting time. Now, I'm not saying I never used it. Like I would use it to talk to my partner, like which argument should we go for? You know, shit like that. But when it came to just me doing the work, it was like, I don't know. Just, you know, the old Bill O'Reilly, fuck it, we'll do it live. We'll just go. Let's see what happens. That's one of the reasons I like streaming. Because if you ask me, what do you think about this guy? This Christian minister guy that's on there like, hey, my wife used to be a hoe. I'd be like, I don't know. But when I start talking about it, then I'll know what I think. That's sort of how it works. Hey, there's my wife. Hi, wife. Apparently she brought me breakfast. I should have not streamed and ate breakfast. But nonetheless, here we go. So, I'm going to read some super chats, and we're going to talk about this Christian minister guy who was very proud that his wife was a cam girl. We're going to talk about that. But some super chats for Steelborn. What's up, my man? How you doing? Always enjoy talking to you. Says, you perfectly captured my thoughts on politics yesterday with the extravaganza rant. Basically, fuck these people, but they're better than the alternative. Yeah. And then I yelled at people on my channel. Thanks, Steelborn. AJC, $10 says, day shift in attendance. Thank you, good sir. And Steelborn for the membership says, like the stream, or you like furries. Don't say that. They may in fact like furries. So I'm not even going to bring up, I'm lazy today. I'm not even going to bring up the clips. There's this guy, I think his name's like Trevor Sheats. And he's like, I don't know, you know, like some online social media ministry stuff. He puts this clip out. Have you guys seen this? I'm assuming like all the right wingers talked about this. I'm like the last guy to the party. Basically, this dude comes out and was like, I was a virgin. My wife had many men. But she's now more committed to God. She's more pure than a virgin. You didn't see it? Let's see if I find the clip. Oh, come on, Gigi, making me do work. Boo! Let's see. I'm almost afraid to just type virgin into X. All right. Trevor Sheats. I thought it was Sheets, but it's Sheats. All right, here we go. My wife was formerly promiscuous. I was a virgin. She was then radically born again, committed to the church, evangelized constantly, Puritan books in our bedroom, prayer journals, grief over past sexual sin, etc. We got to know each other well for over a year, dated for 4 months, engaged for 2.5, and didn't sin sexually with one another. Our first kiss with each other was at the altar on our wedding day. Reaction pic attached. Whoa! We've been married for over 5 years now. She's been the most wonderful and godly wife, mother to our 3 children, and homemaker you could imagine. She's more pure than most virgins, as biblical purity has less to do with past sins, though they certainly matter, and more to do with one's current posture of the heart and daily decisions to honor the Lord. We're far too quick to forget the story of the woman labeled as a known sinner, like a prostitute in Luke 7:36-50, who's washing Jesus' feet with her tears while kissing them too. The Pharisees were shocked that Jesus let a public sinner do this. Jesus responded with a parable about debts being forgiven and ended with this powerful conclusion. Her many sins have been forgiven. That's why she loved much. But the one who is forgiven little loves little. Everyone seems to highlight the benefits of virginity, and it certainly is a blessing, but we forget to highlight the benefits of being forgiven much as well. My wife knows the depths of Jesus' forgiveness more than most people, enabling her to more easily live out a life of passionate love for her Savior. A woman or a man's past sexual sin matters, but what matters far more is when it comes to deciding who to marry is if the person's truly born again, if their repentance is real, and if they truly have a heart for Christ, if they truly follow Jesus and obey his commands. God has chosen what is foolish in the world to shame the wise. God has chosen what in the weak in the world to shame the strong. God has chosen what is insignificant and despised in the world, what is viewed as nothing, to bring nothing, what is viewed as something, so that no one may boast in his presence. It is from him that you are in Christ Jesus, who became wisdom for God for us, our righteousness, sanctification, and redemption. In that order, as it is written, let the one who boasts boast in the Lord. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he's our new creation. The old has passed away. See, the new has come. Look, he's very happy. There he is. Chad Virgin with his lady. Now, there's a lot to say on this. Now, the most obvious conclusion, the very first thing you say is like, dude, did you just tell the world that your wife used to be a whore? Maybe keep that to yourself, right? Even from a Christian lens, it's like, all right, man, if you want to talk about your sins, okay, but you're going to talk about someone else's sins? Your wife's in this case? Now, the response to that, just so you know, is she has openly talked about this and has videos online. In fact, she admits she used to be a cam girl. She says she doesn't even know how many men she's been with. That's how many it's been. So the defense is, hey, he's telling the story in conjunction with his wife. Which brings to the second and maybe most important point. This is engagement bait. That's reality what's going on here. This dude knows exactly what the response is going to be from this type of post. And then he gets to stand on his high horse. That's all it is. Doesn't matter if you're getting ratioed to shit. That's engagement. People tuning in. Really pissed off about this guy? Well, just so you know, he's the owner of On the Mount Incorporated. How to monetize engagement, baby. That's what's going on. So I'm actually giving the dude what he wants by even talking about it. Now, granted, I'm hardly a blip in the online sphere, so you've seen all sorts of big commentators talking about this. Even the Daily Wire was sort of mocking him. So know that's what's going on here. This isn't organic. This is a guy who sees engagement, and it's working. Good for him. Found a grift. Before I told the world my wife was a whore, I might try to play some whip songs or something to raise some money. But hey, teach their own. But the general principle of this, like, there's a lot to say. First off, most people probably in my audience, and just in general, probably if you're married, weren't a virgin when you got married. It's probably true. I don't think that's something to brag about, but it's probably true. You know? But there's levels to this shit, right? I had 1 or 2 girlfriends. Or if you're a woman, I had 1 or 2 boyfriends. I get it. That's different than I can't even count how many sexual partners I've had. I was a cam girl. I'm so fucking tired of this pipeline to online prostitute to telling us about how great of a Christian you are. Fuck off. I'm just over it. I'm sorry. I'm fucking over it. I'm not saying you're not saved. I'm not saying in the eyes of Christ. Maybe I'm sinning, even pointing it out. But I'm tired of it. I'm so tired. As a bad Christian that I am, and I really am one. I'm really bad. I'm tired of everyone grifting off my religion. How can I make a buck? Let me tell you what you should feel as a Christian, which ultimately means more power for me and more shit eating for you. Go fuck yourself. I'm over it. I'm so tired of it. Oh, but no, this one was doing OnlyFans 3 months ago, but now she's going to tell you about her ministry. Have some humility. Go out into the desert for 40 years. I forget that story, right? Leave us alone. You did shameful things. That's okay. No one's saying you should go to prison. No one's saying you can't go to heaven. But please, spare us the lecture. We don't want to hear it from you. But Rob, this woman repented for 10 years before. Great. I don't care. She comes in an environment where this seems to be commonplace. I saw that Betty, what's her name? I don't even know. The British hooker lady that's like, brags about like, I'm going to sleep with 1,000 men today. What's her name? Bonnie Blue or some shit? I saw a video of her getting baptized. Great. Here's my view on Christianity, right? As the non-theologian that everyone's going to tell me I'm wrong, that's a better Christian than me. I'll just tell you. I feel like there's a yin and a yang. It is the greatest love that you could ever imagine. But it's not just that. It's also hard. And it tells you, you're fucking up. You're sinning. You're wrong. But God, I had a good reason to sin. Shut up. No, you didn't. And those two things exist simultaneously. And so what happens is there are times where it's like we need to be preaching the love side of it more. And then there are times where it's like we need to be preaching the harder side of this more. That's what life is. Oftentimes, there's times, depending on where you're at, that your approach is different. I recognize this because I'm sort of a contrarian at heart. And I think you've seen it on my channel here. And maybe it's annoying. And I think that people that are contrarian overboard are fucking absurd. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm shitty. But I tell people all the time, I'm like, it's funny. Most of my arguing online is with lefties, or at least it has been. And so it's always like, oh, Rob's defending Republicans. Rob's defending Trump. But then here where I live, where everybody's right-wing. You wouldn't believe how many of my conversations, there are people around here that probably think I'm the biggest Trump hater in the world. I'm the biggest anti-conservative in the world. Because these people be like, they'll be shit like this, like, I don't give a fuck. Trump should just nuke the shit out of every country in the Middle East. I trust him. I know he's telling the truth. I'm like, now, wait a minute. Wait. I don't know about all that. There are times the guy's not black and white, right? It's not that he's always good or always bad. So, depending on where you're at, sometimes you're praising, sometimes you're criticizing. The public image of Christianity right now on the whole is way too much of the compassion stuff. Way too much. Like, way too much. Oh, we just have to be forgiving and open our arms and love the sinner and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, no. Not the time for that. If you're a woman out there, or a man, doesn't matter. It does, but it doesn't. And you are horribly sinful, and you truly come to Christ, and you truly become repentant, you absolutely will be forgiven in the eyes of God. And that is powerful. But that does not mean that you will not face the worldly consequences of what you've done. And I don't have to pretend that your past doesn't exist because you're like, but now I'm different. Great. Maybe you are. I hope so. Amazing. I'm still going to use the information in front of me to make decisions. Now, do I give a shit if I'm seated at a restaurant and the table next to me is a former OnlyFans chick? I guess I don't give a shit. If my buddy's like, hey, here's my new girlfriend, she was an OnlyFans chick, I'm going to be like, hey, I'll still play Trivial Pursuit with you or whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'll just wash my hands afterwards. Whatever. But I'm going to tell you right now, if it's my son and I find out that he brings home a repentant OnlyFans girl, I'm going to be mightily disappointed. But Rob, God forgive her. Great. I want more for my son. And I'm tired of pretending that's not the case. This idea, well, like what this dude says, it's oozing with like stupidity that we see from so much of the church now. She's more pure than most virgins. What? Explain that to me. And then everybody pointed out that line, but to me, this line's worse. Everyone seems to highlight the benefits of virginity, and certainly it's a blessing. But we forget to highlight the benefits of being forgiven much as well. No, we don't. That's all we ever talk about in the church. That's almost the singular focus for 90% of the people that are out there. This is why people like Andrew and Jay Dyer get shit on. Well, I like the message, but I don't like their tone. It just needs to be more pleasant. That's the focus. Everybody knows the benefits of being forgiven. Everyone. It's constantly beat down our head. We're constantly told that we have to forgive the people that are antithetical and want to ruin our religion. We're told over and over, but forgive, but forgive, but forgive. So for this statement, well, we talk about the benefits of virginity, but does anyone out there talking about the benefits of being forgiven? Yes! To a fault. If anything, the time and place for the church right now is to remind people how bad sin is. That it's not just all about, I'll do whatever you want and God will forgive you at the end of the day and we have to all pretend it didn't happen. Fuck that. But then it's this next line. that really gives the game away. My wife knows the depths of Jesus' forgiveness more than most people, enabling her to more easily live out a life of passionate love for her Savior. Oh! Well, there you have it. She's a better Christian because she was a whore. Awesome. You see, the pious virgin who tried to do everything right their whole life, they have a difficult time. But my whore wife, well, it's super easy for her. Amazing. If I read that passage, I'm like, oh, so if the ultimate goal is to be forgiven by Christ, because we're all sinners, well then, I guess I should just sin as much as possible, because then it makes it easier to find my way to Christ. That's what that reads to me. I did a bunch of weird churches growing up. I've told these stories before, but my parents went to a church that didn't have a pastor. It was a non-denominational church. There were like 8 of us that went there. And what they would do was they'd put notifications up in churches around town, and just regular parishioners, not priests, not preachers, regular, here's a person that goes to Catholic church. They'd sign up and come give us a lesson. We had Catholics, we had Lutherans, didn't matter. Whoever. It was sort of an amalgamation. Most of it was just be a good person. And it wasn't bad. I don't think that people that are more studious Orthodox or Protestants or Catholics would say that's good, because you're not getting a clear and accurate picture in what you would think was the ultimate truth. But for me, as a youngster growing up, I enjoyed the message of just good, hardworking people saying, like, here's why you should be good and hardworking, and here's what Jesus says about that. So that's the church I went to. And then I started going to this Pentecostal church. I've told the story about it before, but it was nuts. They spoke in tongues. They did all this crazy shit. They told me that as a 13 or 14-year-old that all of my friends were going to burn in hell if they didn't go to my particular church. It was fucking crazy. It was just terrible. It was not good. It was not a good experience. And I think that made me atheist for like years. It's one of the reasons I'm so reticent to talk about religion, because I see how damaging it was when people spoke on Christianity to me, and then I found out they were full of shit, and that damaged me, because then that made me say, well, this whole God shit's garbage. It's all garbage. Everyone's that person pretending to speak in tongues yelling at me. But that's not the truth. But that's the impression I got, because I put myself in a bad situation. No one can harm Christianity more than people claiming to be Christian. And so I try my best. That's why I so much don't want to take debates on religion, because that, to me, is special. And I don't want to say something that steers someone in a wrong direction because I'm misinformed. It wouldn't be intentional, but it would be tragic. I don't want to screw someone's life up like that. But one of the things I noticed in that church particular, and this always stuck with me, even as a young kid, they would all the time bring in these speakers. And they'd be telling you, how their path to Christ occurred. And it was always like, here was the sins I did. And even as a teenager, I couldn't help but notice how cool they made the sin sound. Like they were bad at, oh man, you don't even know. Like you're seeing this guy with the suit and tie right now, but I used to be a biker. I'd hook up with a different woman every night, man. You don't even know. I was getting in bar fights. I used to beat up 3-4 guys at a time. I go to all these metal concerts. I got these, look at this tattoo I got here, I had to get a cross put over that, but, I was cool, man. Used to drive a Harley. And it's like, hey, man, yeah, I don't know. It almost sounds like you're living out some weird fantasy that oh man, I was the coolest motherfucker. This sin was so cool, man. It was so cool. Now I'm forgiven. But man, was it cool. And it's like, yeah, I don't have respect for that. How about that guy over there that never did any of that shit, that sits there quietly and actually tried to be a good Christian his whole life. That guy's cool. That guy, I could say, all right. But no one gives that guy praise, do they? That guy's not selling books. That guy doesn't have a hit podcast. His story's not interesting. The woman that did stay a virgin and is staying home and raising 4 kids, she don't have a podcast. But the OnlyFans chick that 2 months ago was blowing 3 dudes at a time, she's going to tell you about Jesus. And at some point, it's like, is this just some weird fucking like character you're playing? What is happening? We had this really good youth pastor at that Pentecostal church, and then he left, and we had this new guy that came, and I'll never forget this. I had a Walkman at the time, a cassette Walkman, and I had the cassette with me that I went to church. It was the Doors' greatest hits. And this youth pastor gave me the business. He told me that music was my idol, that I was putting music ahead of God, that the music I was listening to was satanic, and that I was obsessed with it. Now, I didn't feel like I was obsessed with the Doors. I felt like I had a Walkman. That was the particular tape I had. He'd have really shit if he saw some of the other cassettes I had. But this was the lesson I was getting that day, right? Okay. And I start sort of to listen to him. I'm like, and he's like, he tells me, for me, it was tobacco. He smoked and he chewed. And he was like, that was my albatross around my neck. I couldn't give up tobacco until I started taking, Christianity very seriously, and I started to pray on it, and I was able to overcome it. And that's how you are with music. Now, I still remember being like, I don't think liking AC/DC is quite the same as being addicted to cigarettes, but okay. Now, he also picked us up at our house and drove us home. So we get in the car, and I sit up front, and my brother's in the back. And he just gave me this big lecture. He beat tobacco, it was his idol. I need to give up music. Okay. He sits down in the car. I buckle up. He buckles up, and he's like, what do you think about the Steelers game this weekend or whatever? I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. And as he's talking, without even thinking about it, reaches down his console, pulls out a can of Copenhagen, puts a big rip in. And I'm just staring. I'm like, everything this dude just told me for an hour is bullshit. All of it. Performative bullshit. And he couldn't even keep the mask on for the 3 minutes to drive me home. You think I gave up music then? You think I took that serious? I was like, oh, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. I'm just saying what I think I'm supposed to say in front of a crowd. So much of this, oh, trust me, I used to be a drug addict. I used to be an OnlyFans chick, but now I'm a Christian, I used to be an armed robber, but now I'm Christian. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not saying that person maybe hasn't truly repented. Perhaps they have. But I've heard that message enough now. Can I hear the message from the guy that never did that stuff, that tried to walk with Jesus his whole life? How about that message? I'd love to hear that one. Can we have more of that right now? Thanks so much. I appreciate your opinion. Makes sense. Opinion noted. Brief side note. If you come in and you tell me I like you, but I don't like the fact that you get emotional and yell a little, thank you so much. I'll help you on your way to see another channel. I don't give a fuck. See ya. You seem to have all the answers. Create your own channel. I'm sure you'll do well being a stoic. Enjoy. So I'm just like, that's what I thought when I heard this. I'm like, oh, it's Podcasting Christians, engagement farming. My wife used to be a hoe, and now she's better for it. It would have been harder for her to find Christ if she wasn't a cam girl. Then it would have been more difficult. That's always the thing, right? Even as a young person, that was the like pretty much the central question for me through Christianity was this. Let's say that I go through my whole life and I'm like, I'm not a Christian, I'm agnostic or I'm atheist, right? But by objective measures, a Christian would look and say, he lived a good life. He was charitable, he was righteous, he didn't lie on people, he was a decent person. But if a serial killer gets caught and gets the death penalty and has a year to repent and accepts Christ, he goes to heaven, but I go to hell. That's one of the very first thoughts that I, as like a 10-year-old, had on Christianity. How does that make sense? It's literally just that. You could be the evilest, shittiest person in the world as long as you're like, I accept Jesus before the end. Now, I know it's complicated. I understand that there's answers to this. But that's a legitimate question. And I think that a lot of people probably have that question. And I think that the answer that we're given over and over and over and over and over again, publicly, from almost all people that are claiming to speak on behalf of Christianity is, you have to forgive. You have to. And at some point, you can kind of see the grift. You're like, oh, okay, so I just, I'll take my chances. I assume I'll live to at least 50, so I'll just go out and be a drug head and fucking do whatever I want for 50 years. None of it matters. As long as my 50th birthday, I'm like, by the way, Jesus is the man. I accept Jesus. There we go. We're good. There was that guy, I forget his name now. He's a good guy. He supported, he called in the call-in show. And when Charlie Kirk got killed, I had too much anger. I needed to forgive Charlie's killer. After all, Erica Kirk said she forgave him. I don't know what that means to forgive. Well, it's for you, Rob. Don't hold on to anger. I don't know. I think sometimes anger is righteous. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's how I feel. I feel that Christians don't get angry enough. That's what I feel. I feel when one of the most influential of us gets shot in the fucking neck and the whole world celebrates, that the message coming from, okay, but don't get upset about that, forgive everyone, is not the message I want to hear at that moment. Maybe you're right, objectively in the long term. I like to think that just because this world is temporary and inevitably we go elsewhere, that I was given this home by God and that I'm supposed to try to make this home good, this world. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm not supposed to just sit here and be apathetic. So many Christians will tell you this too. Don't even get involved in the political process. Don't even get involved. There's not a place for that. No, I disagree. I think that we should get involved, that we should do our best to make this world as good as possible. That's what I think. I think it's all right to defend my family and my religious beliefs. I think that's okay. I don't think I just say, well, I just have to, whatever people want to do to us, we just have to accept it because after all, we'll end up in the kingdom of heaven anyway, so who cares? I don't believe that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's a sin. But that's what I think. And I'm just so sick and tired of this being like it's like a form of vanity. People can't wait to show you how much better of a Christian they are than you by saying, but I've forgiven. I have a big heart. Why can't you be more like me? That's the more Christ-like thing. Is it? You sure about it? Maybe you're right. I'm not interested in virtue signaling to other people that I'm the best Christian. In fact, I'm quite honest that I know I'm not. But I noticed a lot of people can't wait. Can't fucking wait to tell you how much more forgiving they are than you. And I know, fattest dog, it's not just saying the words that you accept Christ. It's actually meaning it in your heart. Nonetheless, the point still stands. In fact, I've talked to Christians that believe in the death penalty, and one of the things they say is the reason that it is justice and not just revenge is it actually gives the person receiving the death penalty time to truly repent. So we got this Christian minister guy, podcaster, he's going to publicly tell us how his wife used to get around. She's okay with it, though. Here's the other thing, man. Is this the right message for... I get it. From the perspective of this story. If you are a young woman and you go off to college and you hook up with 30 dudes and now you're truly depressed about it, there is an answer. There is forgiveness. That's a message they deserve to hear. It's hard for me to relate. I didn't have a bunch of sexual partners. My wife didn't. I'm not saying I was a virgin, but I was no fucking porn star, that's for sure. But I can relate to sometimes in points of my life feeling like I was the biggest piece of shit that's ever lived. And that there is forgiveness through Christianity. That I can relate to. And I think most people can. I think most of us have felt ashamed of something we've done in life. And it's nice to know that that's a universal experience. As long as you're a moral person, you've probably been ashamed of something you've done in your life. And that God accepts that as long as we ask him for forgiveness. That's a message. I get it. And from the perspective of what we see going on in society, I understand there are a lot of women who have been very promiscuous that's going to be a message that's helpful. But what about the men? I mean, all other areas of society basically tells men to fuck off. Why not have the church do it too, right? What's the message that you get from this as a young man? Well, I was happy to be a virgin, and the first kiss I ever had was at my wife at her wedding. She was blowing dudes on camera. She lost count. But hey, we're equally happy. Pretty fucking depressing, isn't it? No, I don't think Erica said she's a better Christian for forgiving. I don't know if she said that or not. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not a fucking red pill guy at all. I'm not. But they're right in a lot of the problems they isolate. I think they're wrong in their solution. The free sex revolution and feminism have made it so that women think I just go out and fucking have fun and hook up with dudes until my looks start to go, and then in my 30s, I'll hook a guy that'll financially keep me stable. Fuck all that. That's not a good deal for men. That's not. And to have people claiming to represent the church say, yes, you'll be better off for it. And your wife that blew all those dudes, she'll have an easier time being a Christian because of it. In fact, she's more pure than virgins. Yeah, fuck that. If you're out there and you're a young man and you're in the dating market and you're a Christian, you don't have to accept that. You can accept that woman that was on cam blowing dudes can find her way into heaven. That you could accept. That does not mean that you're obligated to accept her as a wife. Doesn't mean that at all. She should be given forgiveness by God. Totally agree. That is not a sin that means she shouldn't be getting into heaven. I agree. But you don't have to accept it. You're able to see what the logical outcomes of those sorts of behaviors normally lead to. And those marriages usually not working out. And you owe it to yourself and your future children to try to find a woman who's better than that. You don't have to accept this bullshit. They're out there. You're not going to find a perfect woman. You're not a perfect man. You don't deserve a perfect woman. But you don't have to go for that shit. Those women that thought it would be fun to go hook up with a bunch of dudes and whatever and then settle for you, you can tell them to kick rocks. You don't need them. Find a woman that's slightly less attractive that'll love you their whole life. You don't need the 10 that slept with the entire rugby team. By the way, she ain't a 10. She's like an 8, if she ever was a 10. So tired. Like, I'm just so tired of this bullshit. What about men that sleep around? Yeah, it's not that cool either. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I argue against the red pill things. But don't get it twisted. It's worse for women. Women are responsible for the vast majority of divorces. Promiscuous behavior is one of the leading indicators that that sort of thing will occur. It's less of a problem with promiscuous men. I'm not telling you, oh, if a woman had previous relationship, you can't, she's not wiping it. I'm not saying that. There's a difference between I was married and it didn't work out versus I banged the entire football team. I was an OnlyFans chick. There's a difference. It may work out. I'm not saying it won't. Maybe you'll hook up with the OnlyFans chick and it'll work out. And you guys will get married and you'll have kids. You don't have to explain to your kids when their peers find videos of mommy banging a bunch of dudes. That's going to be a tough conversation. Good luck to you. I have no idea what to tell you. That's a decision you're going to have to make if that's who you decide to pursue as a wife. That's on you. But if you can get by that, I'm not saying it doesn't work. It can work. It can. But the chances of it working are better with the less sexual partners that your wife or husband's had. That's just the truth. Most of us aren't virgins when we get married. And I can't stress this enough. There's a difference between you had 2 or 3 long-term serious girlfriends, or if you're a woman, boyfriends, versus I was just random one-night stand hookups all the time. That's different. And then the last thing I'll say about this is, so my wife, are you still in the chat? She was in the chat. Now I'm like, yeah, she's here. Yeah. So just so y'all know, now I'm using this as a threat to my wife. And my wife was not an OnlyFans girl, nor was she promiscuous, right? But I'll be like, listen, Courtney, if you make me take the garbage out, I'm gonna go to my Twitter feed and tell everyone well, my wife was a big whore before. Just saying, she's great. My wife's the best, but man, oh man, was she a whore. So maybe I'm not gonna take that garbage out. That's what I'm trying to say. You know. Thank you for that, Christian podcast guy, for giving me that I'm going to win every argument now with my wife. Okay, that's fine. You're right. You win this argument. I just got to go to my X feed real quick. Got to type a little message up here. You know, who the fuck does that, man? Who does that? Who puts their what? Yeah, there will be no more dishes for me. Oh man, my goodness. So there you go. That was my take on Trevor Sheats. You know, and then he since doubled down and everyone, you know, and then of course it's so funny because you have there's a bunch of Christians that are defending him and there's a bunch that are like critical of him. And would it shock you if I told you that 80% of the people that are publicly defending him are women and 80% of those that are criticizing him are men? Does that shock you? Bunch of ladies out there like, whoa, what's up with that? We're shitting on promiscuous ladies? I don't like that. It's like, I bet you don't. Ah, man. I'm going to get some water, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about racisms. Let's talk about the black guys, right? Yay, black guys. Everybody's favorite. I understand, like, look, I haven't interacted a lot with Jay Dyer. Andrew is a good friend of mine. And I understand their anger at this whole fucking, like, we don't like your tone. I get it, and I'm not even doing it as a Christian. Every night now I get someone like, Rob, you yell too much on your channel. If you were just stoic, yeah, you're right. I guess. And if I was also 50 pounds lighter and fucking 3 inches taller, I could have been a hell of a basketball player. This is who I am. Sorry. One second here. Checking something before I say it. Now, I like comedy, so don't get this twisted. So I'm going to defend something that maybe you guys aren't going to like. But I think it's worth showing. This is the latest skit from notable, and I think a lot of times funny, comedian Drewski. Has anyone seen this? Anybody seen Drewski's latest stream? See if you could guess who it's poking fun at. Just take a look.
Get on your feet, boy!
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
how about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. And we are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic pup cup.
Organic.
Yes, everything organic.
Four, 3, 7. Oh, Hannah, you good? 4, 3, 2. Hold your chest lifted. We're gonna lift.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes, because they are the ones who mattered most.
Drewski, ladies and gentlemen. I thought some of that was funny, to be honest. Now look, it's a little like the Erica Kirk stuff. Like, I get it, but hey, people laughed at George Floyd dying, right? You gotta have a little bit of a fucking strong chin on this shit. I don't think it's his best work here, if I'm honest. I thought the NASCAR skit was much better. But that's fine. Comedy should exist. It should be allowed to be edgy. I didn't particularly think this hit home for me. But fair enough, right? So I just wanted to announce I'll be doing blackface, a Drewski skit. And here's some of the things it'll include. Are you surprised that Diddy's buddy Drewski here found himself in a dress? I wonder if Diddy made him wear a dress while he was slapping his ass up with baby oil before he pounded him out. You think? It'd be a funny skit, right? Drewski pretended to be some hard-ass dude going to Diddy parties, getting piped out by Diddy and his boys, right? Right? Well, that'd be funny. We'll do a little blackface and do that, right? Just for the laughs, right? Diddy's buddy, Drewski, you know. Diddy party man. He likes them kids, I'm sure, right? As long as they bring in that baby oil, right? Just for laughs, just fucking laughing. That's Drewski's boy, Diddy. He's cool, right? I'm just not funny, though. Is that true, DJ Red? I'm just not funny. We'll see. I haven't done the skit yet, I guess, huh? Like, that's the game, right? Just for laughs. Drewski's a hard-hitting motherfucker. He cares. He cares. He's hard. He's wearing a dress. Wearing a dress. Diddy's buddy. Right? Oh, yeah, he wasn't laughing about that. He wasn't laughing about the Diddy shit. Pretty weird, right? It's funny, right? It's funny. Powerful black celebrity ends up being gay, right? Bang a bunch of dudes. Drewski there piling up with them. Oh, it wasn't that type of part I hadn't seen. Come on, have a sense of humor, Drewski. What do you mean? Be honest, buddy. Right? We're just laughing. We're just having a sense of humor here, right? That's it. Drewski getting his back blown out by Diddy and fucking what was the name of the dude that Diddy hired, like the sex guy that he would bring in, right? But he's hard, man. Drewski's hard. He's sitting in that chair of all of his fucking cool city dudes. He's fucking hard as shit. He living a hard life. Don't fuck with Drewski when he's putting that dress on. Like all those other black celebrities going to Diddy's party, right? Don't fuck with him. He's tough. We're just laughing, right? Ain't no problem if I put blackface on, do that skit, right? I wouldn't wear a dress like Drewski. He seemed to be very comfortable in it, didn't he? Not something I would be so comfortable with. But fits him well. Slips right on with the little baby oil, right? Now, I don't care. I really don't. I'm not super offended by this or anything like that. I just wondered if he would share the same humor. Make fun of Erica Kirk. Her husband died. Cool. Your buddy's in jail. Your buddy Diddy. He's in jail. Maybe we'll poke a little fun at you for that, right? Seems fair. If everything's on the table, why not? I think it'd be a little different. Maybe not. Maybe he'd be like, that's actually pretty funny, to his credit. I'm telling you right now, I laugh my ass off at some of the stuff Drewski does. I really do. But I just wondered if it's like, well, we're going to make fun of Erica Kirk. Okay, I accept it. Look, one of my favorite jokes ever was Gilbert Gottfried doing the roast after 9/11, and he tells this joke about he's sorry that he was late, but his plane took a detour, and everyone groans. Then he does the aristocrats joke. Super offensive. So I'm fine with the offensive comedy. I am. I just wondered, that's all. If it would go that way. Yeah, he's like who's not? I think you should grow some thicker skin. You claiming I have faux outrage, presumably that's what you're saying when I'm saying I have no problem if he did this. I just wondered if it'd go the other way and describing how I'd like to make fun of Drewski. And you're like, oh, I need to grow thicker skin. It's almost like you have thin skin. The mere fact of suggesting making fun of this comedian prompted you to claim that I have faux outrage? Can you explain? Or maybe you're not talking about me. Maybe you're talking about other people, which is fine. I don't have faux outrage. Let him do what he wants. Okay, yeah, I get it. There are people that are outraged. Look, it's one of the things I said Destiny had a point about. I never really was like, haha, George Floyd's dead. I didn't do a lot of that. But if you did, or if you made fun of Ginsburg for dying, or whatever, like, then when Charlie Kirk dies and you're like, wow, you can't make fun of that, it's like, well, granted, it's different. George Floyd was a far worse person than Charlie Kirk, but the principle I get. So my response to this isn't, I don't get outraged. I just wish someone would make the joke back to him. I think if Diddy's buddy, Diddy party attendee, Drewski, wants to make fun of Erica Kirk, he should have, I'll even laugh if I think, I just didn't think that was all that funny. There are a couple parts I chuckled. I have no problem with Diddy's buddy, Drewski, doing that. No problem at all. He's hard. Watching that hard, that's gangster wearing a dress like that. Watching that, dude, Diddy party, baby oil guy, do that fine. No problem. I appreciate Diddy's friend. I think he's funny a lot of times. He makes fun of everything. I didn't see him making fun of him being Diddy's friend. I missed that one. Can you point me to that? Can you point me to the Drewski episode where he's lathering himself up with baby oil as Diddy's friend? I missed that one. Or didn't he make fun of that? That's somehow off limits, that one. Weird. Seems a little close to home. Seems like that'd be something he would be interested in taking a little jab at. No? I don't know. I would love to do the blackface and fucking do a Drewski skit. I'd love it. From a place of love. I'm sure Diddy's buddy would be okay with it, right? Oh, I'm glad you've seen him laugh at it at least. That's good. I'm telling you right now, if I did blackface and did a Drewski skit and somehow he saw it, he may laugh. He might. And I'd say, cool. I don't hate him. I don't. I think it's great that one of Diddy's buddies is out there still doing very well for himself. It's amazing. Well, first I'll do the blackface skit, and then I'll ask Drewski on. I think he'd have more reason to maybe come on. I do think some of his shit's funny as shit. I'm all joking aside, you know? But I just thought it'd be fun. It'd be fun. See what Diddy's buddy, some super chats. Hellstorm. $10 says, for the vacation, hot dog, pizza, fun, travel safe, have fun, know our household. Off to work, not one step back. Thank you, Hellstorm. Money Maximus, $10 says, not trying to be negative, but I have a feeling how that marriage will end. Yeah, I know. I hope not. I hope it works out for them. I'm the original vintage, $5. Thank you. Says, we're not even religious, but if my son brought home a trash bag 304 into our family was a good idea, I'd consider myself a failure as a parent. Lavin, $20 says, a key part is having the repentance be genuine. We see a lot of these types. Repentance is only a grip. Yeah, I know. But even if you would say, well, maybe that repentance is genuine, fair enough. I still think it's a bad lesson to be telling people you could fuck around your whole life and it actually makes you a better Christian when you genuinely repent, you know? Car Comp, $5 says, the forgiveness part is the hard one for me. My mother went 10 plus years without seeing her son's face before she died. I don't know. To just let it go, I guess. I don't know how to just let it. I know. It's tough. Straight ripping. $2 says, hi there. Hello. Steel Horse, $10. Thanks. Says, those who only teach to forgive tend to overdo it to the point of excusing sin. Those who actually push against say, I'll go to hell if they do not go here. But typically have little people and no outrage. Well, that's like, I remember, again, I told this story, like the denomination of church I went to was like, will you go to hell if you don't go to this specific denomination? So I remember asking some of the ortho people, like, well, do you think that like a Protestant or a Catholic goes to hell? And they're like, we don't take a stance on any of that. We don't say anyone goes to hell. Like, we don't make those judgments. Which kind of surprised me because I thought the ortho people were supposed to be like more fire and brimstone. But Zach Gilby, $5 says, yeah, it's just comedy. Right? That's fair. It's just fun. Serious guy. $2 says, would change the per capita percentage by 2,000% in blackface. And Haas Knuckles, $5 says, hey Rob, just curious. How's Floyd analogous to Kirk? Legit curious. Floyd died from self-addicted overdose. His choice, Kirk was murdered. Well, certainly the character, the people, the way in which they died, the reaction to people, all of it was grotesquely worse with Charlie Kirk. But the principle stands the same. If you mock people for dying and mock those that are grieving them, that's the game. It's been my thing too, Isaiah. Right? People come in and be like, you fat fuck, blah, 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 and they'll make all these jokes at me. Just make them funny. If they're funny, that's good. If they're boring and the same old shit, it's like, yeah. But if they're funny, I'll laugh. You know? I would debate Drewski. I mean, there might not be much to debate about. He might say, go ahead. Of course, even if Drewski was cool with it, there'd be tons of people in the black community that'd be ready to kill me. It's funny, the oppressed groups that were told Muslims, right? It's sort of like Islam, right? Like the black community's like Islam. They're the best, most noble, greatest people ever. Have a sense of humor. Come on. They're the best, right? And it's grotesque and racist that people claim that they could be violent or anything like that. That's absurd. But if you say that to their face, they'll kill you. Right? Same with Islam. It's a religion of peace, religion of love. But you can't criticize it because we all know they'll kill you. That's the way it is with so much of the black community. We know it. You know it. I know it. Drewski and no one like him is afraid if they put on whiteface or insult white people that they're going to have a serious amount of white people that are trying to take them out. But if you did the exact same thing with black people, holy fuck. You'd be persona non grata. They'd be trying to cancel you, trying to get you kicked off platforms, fucking issuing threats at you, and they'd carry it out too. Here's an example. I saw this story the other day. I thought this was a doozy. Here we have some Belgian TV radio host. And they have this really cool stunt that they did. This is cool. What they're going to do is smash statues of Jesus. Isn't that cool? Let's watch some of this.
Let me ask you a question, because you mentioned respecting each other. I'm thinking of respect towards all of the listeners. You played a video in there. What was it, the smashing video? You were doing a smashing class.
Yeah, we had a rage room because we were beating the blue out of the Monday. So people could text us like, I have a blue Monday because my car broke and everything. It was, okay, we'll smash something for you, Callum. Bam!
And you smashed.
And then he was out. They said like, wow, this really felt good.
And it was pretty intense. And I saw in one part you had a statue of Jesus. Now, I know you laugh, but do you think that for many listeners, they would find that so deeply offensive to take a bat and to smash Jesus into pieces?
Wasn't it Madonna, by the way? No, it was no.
There was one, I think, of Madonna, the Madonna and the child, and there was one of Jesus.
So that's a very good question, because I think it might offend people. I think in Belgium, not really. We're not a very religious country
anymore.
Definitely not the listeners of Studio Brussels. But what we did, all the things we smashed, we made it very clear as well that these were all things that were already broken. So the statue was turned face towards the back of the room, so you wouldn't see the face as well, because that was already it was a broken statue as well. Yeah. But I think I would have been more careful in another country, definitely. In Belgium, it is not a big issue.
What country would you have been careful in? Just curious. What country would you feel that there would be consequences? Name me a country on earth that there'd be serious consequences to smashing a statue of Jesus. Name me one. Wouldn't be the United States. Ain't gonna be anywhere in Europe that I know of. Where is it? Can someone name me the country? I'd love that follow-up. Let's keep going, though.
Let me ask you this. If you were doing the video again, would you smash a symbol of the Prophet Muhammad?
That is a very dangerous one.
You wouldn't do it.
Wait,
why not?
Wait, it's dangerous? Why? Why would that be I'm sorry, can you elaborate? Why would that be dangerous to smash a statue of the Prophet of Muhammad? Why would that be dangerous? Huh. Now, these comedians are brave. And they were just getting out the Monday morning blues, right? That's all. They're just getting the blues out. Why not? Why not smash the statue of Muhammad? Why not? I'm sorry. What do you mean it'd be dangerous? Let's see what this lady has to say. She's the best of the bunch.
That is a very dangerous one.
You wouldn't do it. Why not?
No, because that would be inappropriate.
Oh! It would be inappropriate to smash a statue of Muhammad. I see how it is. Christian, their Messiah, smash away. It's just fun, just laughs. Muhammad, well that's dangerous. That's inappropriate. Here, I'll put let's get her full context. Why do you think it would be inappropriate? Go ahead, take a guess. Take a guess why she's going to say it would be inappropriate. Anybody want to take a guess? They're in Belgium. Why would it be inappropriate for her to smash a statue of Muhammad but not to smash one of Jesus? What is it that makes it inappropriate? Because they're oppressed? There's a good guess. Muslims are oppressed? Because they're brown? That's a good guess. I'm shocked. I'm shocked at her answer. You ready?
Very dangerous one.
You wouldn't do it. Why
No.
not?
No, because that would be inappropriate. Because in Belgium there are many.
But there are Christians too.
Oh, because there are Muslims in Belgium. Well, that would be inappropriate because there's Muslims in Belgium, but there's also Christians. What are you talking about? Watch them post hoc justify. This is what it's like to not be able to say the truth. One, my worldview is that Muslims are oppressed, and so therefore we must bow to them. And second, they'll kill us. But they can't say that. The guy was like, I'd be dangerous. What do you mean? Nothing. It'd be inappropriate. Why? Muslims are here. There's Christians too. Ah! Say the truth, because you're scared shitless, because you're not brave comedians. Just say the truth, but you can't say it, can you? I'm so tired of living in a world where we have to lie. These aren't fucking brave people. Oh, everything's a joke until it's not. Some jokes are okay, others not.
Because that would be inappropriate. Because in Belgium there are many.
But there are Christians too. I know the Pope visited Belgium recently.
No, I know they're Christians, but it's.
Let me think. How do I get away with saying, but I hate Christians and Muslims would kill me? What do I say? Let me think here. My first excuse was clearly bullshit.
Since we are all from the Christian tradition, I think
You're not Christian.
it's like laughing with yourself, or like.
But you would never do it with Muhammad.
No.
Star of David for Judaism.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
No.
It's the same thing. I think we have all been raised Catholic, so that gives us a little more credit to do this. But it's harder if you do it from a religion that you know nothing about. I think that is very dangerous as well.
Well, you know, some of the main ideas and teachings are the same. It's just interesting watching it. I cover spirituality and religion normally on the BBC and other networks. So when you see it, you see that hypocrisy. Jesus Christ, the statue, smash it in two, but never for Muhammad or for anything to do with the Jewish faith. No. And you have listeners who are Christians too, and it's taxpayer-funded VRT. It's the public broadcaster.
Absolutely, but I think you have to.
Yeah, you're right. We're hypocrites.
Look at the specific audience of your station. I would definitely not do this on every station, but the Studio Brussels station is very alternative. I mean, we know that they're not very.
Now, what he's saying here when he's saying they're alternative, here's what he's saying. He's saying they hate Christians. They're okay with Christian hate, our audience. And so are they. But their argument is also, but we come from Christianity, so it's okay for it. So that would be like, if I move into the inner city, I get to drop the N-word and say whatever I want and be like, but I'm from inner city Detroit, so it's okay. And they'd say, yeah, but no, man, you're not black. Yeah, but I'm from inner city Detroit, so it's okay. My family was Christian, so even though I'm not, it's okay for me to shit on Christianity because I'm one of you. Even though I'm not, I'll still say it because I'm white and Christians are white, right? Well, no, there's plenty of Christians that aren't white. What was it? By the way, it's also funny watching everything they say. It's funny watching how it just causes more problems. Well, it would be dangerous. Really? What do you mean by that? Well, that's because it would be offensive because there's Muslims that live in Belgium. Okay, but there's Christians as well. So now this argument, tell me if this sounds about right. Does this sound about right what they're saying? Well, here's the deal. On other stations, we wouldn't have done it, but here we will. Because we sort of have a progressive audience. And after all, here in Belgium, we sort of come from a Christian tradition. Is that a steel man of their position? I think that's fair. Even if we ourselves aren't Christian, our culture is Christian. in Belgium. Or at least of Christianity, right? That seems fair, right? Okay, if that's the argument, then how about we use that culture when it comes to the fucking laws that are passed? How about that? We don't want the fucking Muslims in our country. It's a Christian culture. Now, you can't say that. It's not a Christian culture. It's secular. Okay. Then you don't get to fucking smash and make fun of Christianity and say, but it's because we're a Christian culture. Pick a lane. It's Christian culture too when it comes to, so we can shit on Christianity. But it's not Christian culture when it comes to, oh, so we can embrace Christianity? No, you can't do that. My man Zach Gelpy, he actually sends me in small chunks. So. If I convert to Judaism, can I smash up fucking Star of David and shit like that? Wasn't there a whole Seinfeld episode where fucking Walter White, Bryan Cranston's character, the dentist, he converts to Judaism. Jerry's pissed because he converted just for the Jewish jokes. It's a funny episode. And then Jerry gets called an anti-dentite. That's good shit. Yes, I'm going to convert to Judaism just for the jokes. Can I do it? Can I convert to Islam and then I could make jokes about Muhammad and not be beheaded? How does that work? I think the Jewish people would allow me. I'm not so sure the Muslims would be too down with it. Look, I will shit on the Jews for a second here. How about that? Did you see this story with Roald Dahl? You read all those children's books, and now John Lithgow's playing them. It's like they've held on, like this dude's been dead for 20 years. Beloved children's author, and like, yeah, but he was an anti-Semite. Let it go! What are you doing? Really? You're holding a grudge? There's some Jewish guy out there like, yes, we finally got that fucker writing all those children's books, a beloved children's author. Ha! He insulted a Jewish person once. It's like, oh, sweet Lord. I heard Kermit the Frog inserted the Virgin Mary once, insulted her, so I can't wait till fucking 50 years after Kermit dies to write my book, you know. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta stop. I'm not allowed to criticize Jewish people. Whoops. Well, I just got accused of taking money from Israel. Now within 3 minutes, someone's gonna call me an anti-Semite. It's a pattern. Anyways, so this video here, let's finish it up. And I agree with you. At least this presenter pointed out their hypocrisy.
Very religious in any way. There are other stations where I would definitely be very, very, very careful for that.
But you still wouldn't do it with other religions.
No. Now we have having this conversation. I'm so sorry, Callum. We shouldn't have done it because we didn't think that much about it.
What a load of shit. Oh yeah, we're sorry. We're sorry. Now that you pointed out that we're hypocritical sacks of shit. Now we're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have did that.
We're just smashing all kinds of stuff, and there happened to be an old Jesus sign, and we smashed it.
What we would do when we have a listener because that happens as well, we do some things out of a silliness, and then someone lets us know this was really inappropriate, then that becomes a talk topic for us to sort this out. And to be...
That's even worse, by the way. Like, I can actually handle the fucking hypocritical, we hate Jesus, we don't give a fuck, right? But then, to double down on the bullshit progressive, oh, if someone calls in and says we hurt their feelings, we'll apologize. No, be a man. Just be like, yeah, we did it. Go fuck yourself. Now what? I would appreciate just the rank hypocrisy without the groveling a little more. Right? The groveling makes it worse. Look at this guy in the center. He's like, let's see here. For God's sakes. That's more offensive to me. You sniveling little shits. Oh, someone's offended. Oh my God. Oh, someone calls in. Oh, we didn't know.
Able to say, but oh yeah, wait, we never thought about this. Actually, that's pretty stupid.
Yeah. This would have been like if somebody, Callum, would text us in the app like, why the hell did you smash a Jesus sign, and would you do the same? Then we would be.
We would call you and we would have this conversation.
I'm going to be on VRT next week, guys. Tune in.
Why is it that you live in a culture that wouldn't think twice? It didn't even cross your mind that smashing someone's religious symbol might upset someone. Didn't even cross your mind when it comes to Jesus. Now, we intuitively knew if it was Islam or Judaism, oh boy, don't do that. What is it about your culture that leads to that? Now, the reason I bring this up is I wonder if the Drewski thing would be the same. I don't know for Drewski himself, but I'll tell you that same damn sure with huge parts of the black community, they'd lose their fucking minds if some fat dude like me put blackface on and made ditty jokes about Drewski. They'd try to cancel me. They'd try to whoop my ass if they saw me in public. Because it's different. We're oppressed. Fuck white people. We can make fun of a grieving wife. We don't give a fuck after her husband was assassinated. Or would it be like that? Would it be, oh, no, like, you know, it's okay, Kirk, she's white, we're white, we thought it was okay. But yeah, we would never. That was my feelings on. Speaking of which, might as well dip my toes in this. Any young adult literature fans in here? Anywhere? Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest actors, in my opinion, that ever lived, someone who I had a deep affinity for in role after role after role, the great Alan Rickman, who I'll always remember is the bad guy in Quigley Down Under. You may remember as Hans Gruber, or perhaps Severus Snape from Harry Potter. Well, they finally found the ideal man to replace that iconic role. I give you whoever the fuck this guy is. It's Snape! There he is, everyone! Yes, the spitting image of Alan Rickman. Because when I think sort of 19th century British wizards, there he is. There's Snape. Amazing. I don't give a fuck. Maybe he'll be phenomenal. I don't know. But I know this. They're already leaning in. They knew the reaction they were going to get by casting that guy. And they're already leaning into it. It's racism. Which shows me maybe they don't have that much faith in the project, that if they're already resorting to this sort of bullshit. But I digress. I don't give a shit in a vacuum. Like, Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not. First off, let's start with all the reasons this doesn't matter. Because it doesn't matter. One, I don't even have to elaborate. Secondly, was I going to watch this show? Probably not. So I'm not really the target audience anyways. So, okay. Next. It might be good. This actor may be good. Now, someone correct me if I'm wrong. In the comic books, was the character in Marvel Comics Nick Fury a white guy? Wasn't he white in the comic books? Am I incorrect about this? I thought I remembered that from my old comic book days way back in the day. I didn't have a fucking problem with Sam Jackson playing him in Iron Man. At least, now, I'll be honest. I have only seen up to, like, the last Marvel movie I saw was, like, Captain Marvel or something. So I never saw, like, Winter Soldier. I never saw Infinity Wars. I never saw Endgame. I didn't see the fucking 5,000 TV shows they put out. Didn't watch any of that shit. Right? So maybe Nick Fury's character got to be dog shit later. But from what I saw of Sam Jackson playing Nick Fury, they didn't make it a point like, oh, he's black, he suffers racism. It was just, he's Nick Fury. And I didn't have a problem with it. I liked Sam Jackson. Thought he played the character well. He's like kind of a badass, human general, trying to keep all these superpowered people fucking in line. I thought he did fine. That was a race swap. I just didn't give a fuck. Same's true of, like, female action stars. I think fucking Ripley in Aliens, awesome. I loved Alien and Aliens. Great movies. She's a fucking badass. I didn't have a problem with it. The problem is the oversaturation. The problem is, once they make it a point to shove it down your throat, even if something comes along that's not that, you're still, like, rejecting it. So, like, Furiosa, I've not seen it yet. All reports I've read was, damn good movie. But it had two things going against it. It's a Mad Max movie without Mad Max, which on its face is fucking stupid. And it happens to have a female action lead that apparently has been done very well. I heard she did a phenomenal job in the movie. But it comes out in an environment where we're sick and fucking tired of this being shoved down our throats. So now, even when good shit comes out that formerly you would have been like, if Furiosa, the equivalent of it would have came out in like 1992, you'd probably be like, excellent movie. Now, because every movie's the chick's the best and the guy's a bumbling fool and 110-pound chicks beating the shit out of dudes left and right, you're like, well, I don't give a fuck. That's how I feel about video games. I talked about this before. I play a limited amount of video games. I break my rule, but I'll tell you right now, if I see a game has like an exclusive female protagonist, it makes me less likely to get it. I still may. I bought that game Hades Part 2. It's okay. I like the first one. Though the dude was gay in it, or at least bisexual. So this guy might be excellent, but he's coming in a world where it's like every fucking beloved story now. It's like, we got to make it fucking black and gay and feminine. Every time. And we're just like, yeah, it's enough. It's enough. We're good. And then each individual time they're like, oh, fucking, it's no big deal. But I'm like, you're right. It's not a big deal each individual time. But when it becomes the fucking overarching theme, at some point we're allowed to notice. I love this about the fucking left. You got that, the dude with the fucking Nazi tattoo in his chest. What's his name? Graham Planter. Remember when they flipped out because fucking, Elon Musk fucking waved put his hand on his heart and then waved. You remember that? Here, I'll refresh your memory.
Spring had come and the snow.
You get the picture. Elon did that and they freaked out. Now they're nominees to do with the Nazi tattoo. Oh, well, no big deal. Remember when they flipped out because Alito's wife had a flag flying upside down? But now Ma'am Donnie's wife's like, kill all the Jews. And they're like, what can you do? I thought it was funny shit. They were like, oh, they're going after her like fucking post she made when she was in high school when she said the N-word. Come on now, that's a bit ridiculous. Fuck you, people. Fuck you. Are you fucking kidding me? It's always the same thing. Set the standards until finally we say, okay, fine. If that's how we're going to play the game, how dare you? How dare you do unto us what we did to you? Now we really have to take the gloves off. You can't look at our old posts. That's crazy. That's childish. Only we get to do that. Why do you care about the culture war shit? Fuck you. Every other culture is allowed to care about their culture. Why not me? Fuck you. Say what I want. Fuck off. That's why. Go fuck yourself. Every other fucking racial group's allowed to have pride in there. Not me, though. Somehow it's different. Fuck off. Why am I allowed to cheer for... what's my connection to my country, really, at this point? What is it? Like, it's not a racial country, which I'm fine with. It's not religious, even. Okay, fine. Half the people that live here could give fuck all about the Constitution, the founders, and all that. So what is it, really? So why is it when I watch, like, the Olympics, why am I cheering for an American? I am. I'd cheer for some fucking black lesbian over some white French lady. Why? It's America, motherfucker. That's why. That's my team. No one really questions that, right? I mean, when you think about it, it's a bit absurd. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Why? Because I sort of live in the geographic area of Pittsburgh, where it's the closest team to me. Okay. Sort of silly, right? Oh, so like the people on the team are more like you than other teams? No, not particularly. More Christians? More rural people? No, not really. I never really looked into it. We accept it. We're like, yeah, it's nothing wrong with that. They're kind of from my area. I cheer for them. Why can't I do that with skin color? Why's that? All the other skin colors can. All the other races can. They could say, that person's of a similar race than me. I can cheer that. But I can't. Why? I can do it with geographic location. No problem. But not skin color. Why? I have no problem with a black person or an Asian person. Like, if you were Asian when the basketball player Jeremy Lin, like, came up, or, like, Yao Ming, or, like, you're fucking Japanese and you're, like, Shohei Ohtani, good. That's awesome. If you were black and you're, like, superhero movie like Black Panther comes out, I think that's fucking awesome. Really. I'm not bullshitting at all. I totally get it. It must feel awesome. If you were, like, black parents and you have a black kid and they like Superman and shit, and all of a sudden here's a superhero that your kid identifies with who's cool, and the character Black Panther, regardless of what you think of those movies, is pretty fucking cool. This isn't some whitewashed character. Now, the whole idea of Wakanda is a bit much, but why not? Good for that kid. I don't have a problem with it. But I can't cheer for someone because they're white. I can't say I like these characters and that they look like me. I'm not allowed to say that. And I have to just pretend, oh, okay, you want to change them? No big deal. over and over and over again. I just have to pretend that. No, fuck all that. No. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to be shamed. Ooh, why are you noticing? Well, you know, the stupid culture war stuff, it's irrelevant. Fuck, that's all we got at this point. It's culture war shit. Politics is dog shit. By the way, how's like beloved show? How's Star Wars doing since they made it feminine? Oh yeah, it sucks. How about Lord of the Rings? Oh yeah, it sucks. How about Doctor Who? Oh yeah, it sucks. But hey, fuck it, Harry Potter. Let's do it next, right? I'm sure it'll work out just fine. Maybe it will. I don't know. Did you see the whole controversy? There's this game, I forget what it was called. It was like Ex Voto 1433 or something. Let me break it down for you real quick. There was this knight game coming out. It was just like, yeah, be a knight and kick the shit out of bad guys. And then there's this other knight game coming out. And it's like, be a lesbian and have a lesbian relationship. What about like the action stuff? Forget about all that. You're a lesbian knight in like the 1300s, right? For modern audiences. What do you mean, audiences that don't want to have fun? Right? So they shit on this other night game. We're like, oh, we're focused on modern audiences. And then the game came out and it totally fucking bombed. Ex Voto 1358, yeah. Apparently dog shit, right? Dog shit game. And then of course we got review bombed. It's so funny because the mantra for years has been like, dirty fucking capitalist. We're a dirty capitalist society. And these companies will do anything for money. But that's not true, is it? There's a currency more valuable than money. Because these motherfucking studios, movie studios, video games, they'll fucking hemorrhage money. They'll go out of business. They'll go fucking bankrupt. They'll take intellectual properties that are can't miss and they'll fuck them up for the message. Why? Everyone can say, oh, it's a take. I don't know shit all about business. At all. I don't know fucking shit. Let's say they had me at Disney and they're like, all right, Rob, we just bought Star Wars. I'm like, excellent choice. And they're like, so we're going to make movies, not prequels. We're going to make movies after. And Harrison Ford's alive? Wow, no shit. And Carrie Fisher's alive? Wow. And Mark Hamill's alive? No shit. Yeah. So we were just wondering, what's your input? Okay, here's what you do. Put them all on the screen together as much as possible. Have some big evil new villain, and these motherfucking three whoop some ass. Movie. We're thinking of doing something a little different. How about we shamefully kill them all off except Carrie Fisher, who will die? Make them all fucking stupid versions of themselves, but we bring in a new character, a black guy and a woman, and check this out. This woman, she's like the best at everything ever immediately. It'll be awesome. And I'll just be like, if you had a challenge, if they came to our audience, circa, when did the Disney Star Wars start? Like 2010 or some shit? I don't know. If they came to my audience then was like, is it possible for you guys to fuck up Star Wars irreparably? We couldn't do it. We'd be racking our brains like, how can we fuck this up? And they did it. Billions of dollars and they did it. Remarkable. They did it to Marvel. Endgame and Infinity Wars collectively made damn near $3 billion and they fucked it up. Hey, Robert Downey Jr., here's $200 million. Put on the Iron Man suit and fight fucking Monkey Man. Here, oh, it's the fucking, the Anaconda. It's a new crazy snake fucking villain. There you go. Drink a martini. Say some quips. Good to go. Nope, they fucked it up. Ooh, what if the Falcon character, who's so beloved in the comics, remember when you guys were young and you were buying all your your Falcon comic books. We'll make him Captain America. Excellent idea, right? And here's the thing. He's like a better Captain America than that same guy you loved for all those years. And then the She-Hulk is a better Hulk than the same guy you loved for all those years. You know? And we'll do that with every character. Now they'll all be gay or black or female versions. And they're so much better. And you're just like, oh, what? Why would you do this? Anyone with half a brain, are they seriously sitting there and like, this is gonna fucking, dude, if the Star Wars brand's bringing in fucking with merchandise and everything, you know, billions of dollars, this movie is gonna make fucking $5 billion. Here's what we'll do. Let's kill off fucking Han Solo. Nice, in the first movie. And then, for our fucking coup de grace, right? How do we top that? We'll just have Luke Skywalker be a total bitch. That'll make the money. There wasn't one person in that room like, are you sure about that? You know how many Luke fucking Skywalker toys we could sell? Like, just keep the dude alive, have him whoop some ass. What are we doing here?
Rob, don't forget, they're also going around the rights of the people that own the property, Rob, like they're doing the Ring of Power without the rights from Lord of the Rings saying that you can do it. So they're making shitty movies without even the people that own it allowing them to do it. So they even had the Ring of Power was allowed to be made, and they didn't even have the authority to use the Lord of the Rings property.
They were allowed to use the Silmarillion, right? That's what they were allowed to use.
Yeah, they weren't allowed to use any of the IP, and that's why it was so bad.
They couldn't use The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings. They could only use, they bought the rights to like the one Periphery book.
Also,
right?
when you wake up and start at 10 o'clock your time, it is 7 my time, which means we're waking up with no coffee in the back here.
That's your mistake. All right, my wife's told me I gotta get going. Wife, what time do you need me? But it's like, it's just amazing. But the narrative's always been, all these evil companies like Disney or fucking, you know, Warner Brothers or whatever. All the movie studios, all this shit, all they care about is money. They'll do whatever to make money. Okay, thanks, wife.
I found an interesting narrative you might find interesting. You want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay, so this was just brought up. Now, this is just a crazy claim, okay? But this was a thought. What if they are intentionally tanking Harry Potter, the franchise, to diminish J.K. Rowling's influence on culture?
Well, that's part of it, but then is that what they did with Marvel? Is that what they did with Star Wars? Is that what they did with Doctor Who? Right?
Well,
like,
I was trying to think about how I could connect those dots like earlier last night because, you know, troll arguments is what I do. So I was trying to figure out how to connect those dots. But I always thought about that. What if they're trying to tank people's influences? Because look at George Lucas. Now, where's his influence?
Well,
think about it.
It is. There's a reason that they don't give a shit about the money. The message is more important. Right? It's the same reason that they'll go into law enforcement. It's the same reason that they go into the military. It's the same reason they go into the churches. It's the same reason that they go into the video game community. We want to have it all. Culture is more important. And so they convince these people, it's not as simple as they sit around and say, here's our nefarious plot, A to B to C to D. It's that these people all believe in that message. This is what makes us a good, moral, virtuous person.
I think they believe in that message too. I also think they think about the bottom line. So they're like, all right, let's make more money and let's try to incorporate everybody so everybody can be inclusively in this movie, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, but it's not money. They can predictably see it's not money, right? So there's got to be something beyond the money there. At first, maybe they mistakenly thought this will make money, but at some point they had to see. They kept pushing. It's not that we had a 1-year run of this. We're on like year 12, right? And so they know at this point. Like, you know, Right now, if you start developing a video game right now, and you're like, here's what we'll do. We're going to have this badass female protagonist. We're going to make a Star Wars game, right? With the fucking, fucking Han Solo-esque character. Okay, sounds good. And it's going to be like this
Galaxies.
scoundrel.
I know, you're talking about Outlaws.
Blah, 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 blah. And it'll be a female lead. And everyone's like, everybody in that room knows, well, we just lost 25% of our potential. We just right there. With that one decision, we've cut 25% of the audience out. That's it. One decision. We may make a phenomenal game and it'll still do pretty good, but it did much better without this bullshit. They don't care. They're willing to take the loss and money. Why?
Yep.
Because the message is more important. It's like this guy Zizek, right? Let's see if I can find this.
I'm in for the listening. Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to try to find this. There's this. Now, Zizek's an interesting guy. I don't agree with all this shit, right? But he's got this movie called The Pervert's Guide to Ideology. It's worth watching.
Is it?
I liked it.
Let me take some notes here.
Now, he's going to blame capitalism. But I think it's misguided. I don't think it's capitalism. I think that it's wokeism. It's so many of these people, they claim to be left-wing shitters, right? But they like what capitalism brings. They like the comfort. I think this is the right clip. So he's going to explain Starbucks to you.
Let's turn to...
By the way, he is a horrible... He talks like this horrible accent, right? So try, and it's going to be low, but try to hear what he's saying. Let's see if I can turn subtitles on.
Let's turn to the high point of our consumerism. Let me take a drink. It's still some of it Starbucks coffee. I'm regularly drinking it, I must admit it. But are we aware that when we buy a cappuccino from Starbucks, we also buy quite a lot of ideology? Which ideology? You know, when you enter a Starbucks store, it's usually always displayed in some posters their message, which is, yes, our cappuccino is more expensive than others, but, and then comes the story. We give 1% of all our income to some Guatemala children to keep them healthy, for the water supply for some Sahara farmers, or to save the forests, to enable organic growing on coffee, whatever. Now, I admire the ingenuity of this solution. In the old days of pure, simple consumerism, you bought a product and then you felt bad. My God, I'm just a consumerist while people are starving in Africa. So the idea was you had to do something to counteract your pure destructive consumerism. For example, I don't know, you contribute to charity and so on. What Starbucks enables you is to be a consumerist and be a consumerist without any bad conscience, because the price for the countermeasure for fighting consumerism is already included into the price of a commodity. Like, you pay a little bit more and you are not just a consumerist, but you do also your duty towards environment, the poor, starving people in Africa, and so on and so on. It's, I think, the ultimate form of consumerism.
Now, I disagree with a lot of his conclusions, but he's right on identifying this. The idea is this. You believe in this woke message, right? Jordan Peterson puts it in a good way too. He takes this video where he sees all these people. To me, it's a seminal video. This video will stay in my mind forever. The story is, I think it's at Yale. I could be wrong, but it's an Ivy League. And this female professor writes this op-ed. And this is like maybe 2014. And the op-ed's like, listen, maybe we should let up on like canceling people for wearing like, dressing like an Indian or some shit for Halloween. By the way, shortly after this, I did dress up like an Indian for Halloween. Face paint and all, fuck them, right? But it's like, maybe we should not cancel people for this shit, right? And the school went nuts. How dare you? That's white supremacist. Her husband happened to also work at the school, was a professor. And so there's this video where they're surrounding it. and they're putting him through the struggle session in like the quad at Yale. And they're just fucking screaming, I'm a victim! How dare you? How dare you do this to me? This is my home.
This is the same stuff they have you do in MKP. This is the exact same ritualistic behavior they have you do for victimization in MKP. Like that is this crazy? So you just had me flash back there a little bit.
So what Jordan Peterson says is like, so there's like all these hierarchies, right? Like that's what life is. It's a bunch of hierarchies, right? And some of us are high on some hierarchies and low on others, and some on average are higher on more than others. And there's things that are more likely to put you high. Like if you're born very wealthy, chances are you're going to be head start, right? But that's it. That's life, right? It's a big amalgamation of this shit. But there are advantages to being low on hierarchies. For example, the hierarchy of a company you work at. If you're the boss, you probably make the most money. And you get to be the one that makes decisions. That's good, but you also have a lot of responsibility. That's bad. And if you fuck up, like if the guy in the bottom at the assembly line fucks up, small problem. You fuck up, big problem, right? One of the things my old roommate told me, he tells me all the time, he's an attorney now, does very good. He'll call me once in a blue moon and be like, I miss when we were just deadbeats without real jobs. You get fucking trashed, you get kicked out of the bar. No one gives a fuck. If you're a partner at a serious law firm and you go to the local watering hole and get in a fist fight over a Steeler game, you ain't gonna be partner the next morning, right? So it changes. The responsibility changes you. So
When I was a kid, I worked at the Game Crazy. All I had to do was stock video games on the shelf, and that was it.
My favorite job I ever had was Burger King. I tell customers to fuck right off, right to their face. I don't give a fuck. What are you gonna do? Fire me? Fuck you. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's a bullshit job. You can't do that, right? Once you start to work. So, anyways, Peterson's like, and so like when I was a bartender, these people would come in and they'd be like, "Fuck my boss, that piece of shit," and that's cathartic. That's a benefit. That's one of the benefits to not being higher in that hierarchy, right? Fuck it. I'm going to the bar. I'm going to talk shit in this motherfucker all day. And that sucks. You might be the boss that's like, but I want to be one of the boys. But you're not going to be one of the boys.
Never going to be the boys.
They can pretend. You can try your best. But you're never going to be one of the boys. You're just not.
No, the whole room goes silent when you're there. They're like, I can't fuck up around this guy.
Yes.
Like,
so that's the reality. So there are advantages to being the boss. There are disadvantages, right? And Jordan Peterson's like, so complaining, that's one of the things you get, right? When you're on the low end of the socioeconomic status, you get the bitch.
I think we've had this conversation.
I have to pay $5 for gas. Fuck these motherfuckers. See, Colbert don't give a fuck. That guy's a billionaire or multimillionaire. He don't give a fuck. Fuck him. I'm struggling to get by. Fuck these assholes. They don't care about me. But imagine being wealthy and being like, you know what? I don't have to worry about the price of gas, but I wish I could bitch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I really wish I could. That's not fair. There are certain advantages that I'm incapable of having, and I do not accept that.
You know what else you can't do? You know what else you can't do? You can't even talk about being rich. You can't even talk about the struggles of taxes. You can't talk about any of that because as soon as you're in your group and talking about it.
But that's irrelevant. So they're like, we want to talk like we're poor as well. So enter the Yale students. Now, by any objective metric, these are the 1%. These are to even get into Yale, puts you in the 1% of all students. To be in the United States, in Yale, you're the top of the top. Most of you are going to go to become exceedingly wealthy in powerful positions. And yet, you must also have the victimhood.
Yep.
You need that as well. It's not enough that you're privileged and you'll be at the top. That's why you see someone like Oprah, you see someone like Michelle Obama. Without a doubt, two of the most powerful people that have ever lived in this world, and they're the victim.
Yep.
They need it all. They need it all. And Jordan talks about that with, then you go back to the Zizek point, right? Where it's like, okay, I'm a super wealthy, powerful, privileged, woke person. I believe the message. I do. White people are oppressors, and men are oppressors, and Christians are oppressed, and all these poor brown people, and they're better than us. They're actually better than us. Okay, you gonna give up your job for them? Well, no. But I'll buy the Starbucks. Right? That gives money to the Guatemalan farmer. Right? It's a performative thing. So when I get my job at fucking Marvel Disney, I'm not going to give up my hundreds of millions of dollars. Fuck all that. but I believe we should. I believe that millionaires are bad. So you know what I could do? Well, I'll do my part to do the right thing. Let's make this shit woke. Let's do that. It's like buying the Starbucks. It ain't skin off my back. If this movie falls into an irrelevant sack of shit and I destroy a multi-billion-dollar IP, who gives a fuck? I'm still, what's the name of the woman that ran Disney that's supposedly retiring? Yeah, I'm still her. I still got my mansions. I still got my fucking, jets. I got my fancy car. I don't give a fuck that I ruined this beloved property, that real people were making real money, doing real work, that was bringing enjoyment to millions of people. What do I give a fuck if I destroyed it? I did what was best. Now, insert that into every fucking way, every job that these people have. Everything. I'm not going to make personal sacrifices, but I can put the message into what I'm doing. And that makes me a good person.
Well, I think the problem too is we give these people outs, right? We give in that perspective, Rob. Like, I was reading through the chat, like the tax loophole for when they tank those movies. So then we give those people, like, we let them fuck up, and then we let them get out, saying, "Oh, but they did something good," right? Would that be a good?
I agree that happens, but again, you're looking at it wrong. It's not them saying, "Oh, I'm doing this to make money." Right? Yeah. That's not it. They would make more money not having the tax out, right? Yeah, do we give them ways to get out of it later? Sure, right? But the point is that they feel there is a reason that they care about this shit more than the company making money. It doesn't hurt their individual bottom line, and it allows them to feel virtuous. Just like buying that cup of Starbucks allows you to feel virtuous. Where Zizek's wrong is, no, I don't have to give a fuck about Africa. As long as I'm not intentionally harming Africa, as a consumer, I don't have to sit there. There's no obligation of mine. What is that obligation? I may choose to be charitable if I choose so. But the idea that Zizek's right. There are people that want to feel charitable, but they don't want to do the charity. So, Starbucks. So, let's make Star Wars woke and gay. That's what happens. They believe it. So it is the message is more important than the money. It is. And that these people have been wrong about it, right? They've been wrong. Now, is there a hope that being on the right side of the message inevitably gives you more power, influence, and money? Sure, that hope exists. But even if it doesn't, even if it falls flat in their face, they don't give a fuck. Because right now, do you think Kathleen Kennedy cares? If you could talk to her, like, dude, you were such a destructive force for all these intellectual properties. She'll say, I did the right thing. I did the right thing for modern audiences. We're tired of these old masculine tales. It's time for our culture to shift. And that's exactly what happens. The culture does shift. Now there's a pushback. But the irony is, all these lefties that you talk to that buy into this sort of shit, right? They'll tell you, it's all about money. All these evil corporations, it's all about money. Well, no, if it was, they'd tell people like you to fuck off. Right? Like, it's amazing to me. You people aren't going to see the movies. You people aren't buying the fucking video games. They keep making the video game for you, and then you ain't buying them. Right? You create a fucking sports league, the WNBA, then you don't go to the games. So you bitch at the rest of us and go, well, you have to subsidize our bullshit. Why? Just go. If every fucking woman that bitched about men making, them making 79 cents a dollar would go to an WNBA game, they'd be fucking killing it. But they don't. They bitch and they want the culture to change without making even the smallest personal sacrifices themselves. And they'll feel morally just. That's what our system's created. Victimhood is now a greater form of currency than money. And so to be able to placate into that, and the less actual victimhood you have, the more you desperately want to claim you have it. Right? That's how you're some fucking that's how you're Michelle Obama. Where's your victimhood? Fuck you. But you got to claim it. You want it even more because it seems out of reach. And you'll get it too. So.
That is a good way of putting it.
They're supposed to say.
I just look at all the people that like out there that like still today buy into it, right? Or they still go to the movies and defend it, right? It's just crazy. Because I'm here in California, right? And the whole thing was the Harry Potter thing, right? Right now, the big Harry Potter thing. Everywhere you go, oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great out here or over in California. Everyone's giving it praises. And I'm sitting here going, oh, my God, I can't even watch this thing. So I get it.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. But that's what's going on. It's fucking, all of this shit. Let's conform everything to our message. I thought it was just about money. Is there any doubt? Let's say this guy playing Snape, maybe he's the greatest actor ever. I don't know. Maybe he's perfect for the role, right? But is there any doubt that if instead of this guy, they found a guy that was equivalent or even slightly less, that more matched the image that people have of Snape, that it would end up doing better? Of course not. Of course not. Of course it would. Right? Is there any doubt that, like, if they decided that they were going to make the Star Wars character male and not fucking, actually like Luke Skywalker or something, that it would have sold more? There's no doubt. And it's not like you could be like, yes, but the artistic integrity of the fucking Star Wars movies, of those piles of shit, artistic integrity, go fuck yourself. They know what they're doing. They know it. Right now, somewhere is a big fucking AAA studio video game or fucking Hollywood fucking, studio, and someone's pitching them a fucking multi-million-dollar project right now, hundreds of millions of dollars, with some woke female lead.
Absolutely.
Right now it's happening. And that studio's going, yes. And they know. And there's someone in that meeting right now like, this is a fucking disaster. What are we doing? Dude, someone fucking call The Rock and put him in a movie fighting some big fucking bodybuilder. They're gladiators. Bam! Print money. I don't understand. Well, I do understand, because it's not just about the money. It's all they'd have to do. Man, fucking no one gave a fuck about the artistic integrity of Commando or of fucking Cobra or fucking Last Action Hero, right? I was tuning in that shit all the time. People love that shit. Yeah, it gets a little old. You're freshening it up a little. But it's just the fucking constantly. It's like you can't see. Top Gun goes and crushes it. Why? Oh my God, a movie like the 80s. We don't have to worry about the political message. Just fucking stupid, mindless action. Roseanne show kicking ass. Get her off TV. Last Man Standing with Tim
Last
Allen.
Man Standing. I was so mad.
Get him off.
Yeah.
We don't want him. But it's crushing it. It's a really good show. Fuck him. Get him off. Message more important than the money. If it was about money, if it was just about money, you can't tell me that fucking 4 years ago CNN wouldn't have hired Alex Jones. People been tuning in that motherfucking show every night. What the fuck is Crazy Alex going to say tonight? Who knows? Right? There's the eyeball, but they ain't going to do it. It's about the message. I did once play Horizon Zero Dawn. Not very much. I wasn't a big fan. But, all right, Avarice. I'm going to read some chats and stuff here. Hot Snuckles, $5 says, sorry, I still don't understand. Is it immoral to mock recipients at a Darwin Award? Mocking a victim of a crime is immoral. But why bad for dumbasses? All right, I'm going to try this one more time. Let's say that your neighbor was looking in a gas can and lit a match to see in the bottom of it and died. And his daughter comes to you bawling and you're like, you dumb fucking shit. Look at this bitch crying. This bitch is crying. Her stupid ass dad's not. Could you understand how that would be offensive? You see how the family could go, I don't like that. Or you don't understand that. I hope you're still here so you can clarify. Do you understand how that daughter could say, I find that very offensive? If you're going to mock people dying, don't be confused when other people mock people you like dying. Not a hard concept to get. Are there different levels of this? Yes, there are different levels, but the principle still exists. If you can't understand that, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what to say. There are going to be people who say, isn't it ironic? Charlie Kirk was talking about the importance of having guns and how gun crime's not that bad at the time he got shot in the neck. I don't understand. The people that are talking about George Floyd. George Floyd's a bad guy who died of a fentanyl overdose, and therefore, if we mock him, I don't understand how there's any connection whatsoever to mocking other people that died. I am totally confused by this foreign concept. How is that even, it makes no sense. It doesn't even register as something that I can even contemplate as having any similarity whatsoever. One person dying and mocking of them, and someone else dying of mocking, but they died of different reasons. I don't understand it at all. Yes, to answer your question, if my dad was in the book The Darwin Awards for dying in a stupid way, and you started mocking for it, I'd probably punch you in the fucking mouth. Even though, as an objective outside looking in, I could say, but it is kind of funny that your dad died that way. And yet, if the joke's going to be, we're allowed to make fun of people dying that we didn't personally like or we think died in stupid ways, don't be confused when the other side says, fine, we also will play that game. You don't get to say, but my guy was righteous and virtuous and your guy wasn't. The left says, we agree. Same exact argument. That's our argument. We're righteous and virtuous, and you're not. Charlie Kirk was bad. He was a fascist. George Floyd died because police put their neck. It was police brutality. He was a victim of a corrupt racist system. So you're not allowed to make fun of him, but we are allowed to make fun of Charlie Kirk. Your argument is, no, George Floyd was a drug addict. He died of an overdose. Charlie Kirk was a family man who was murdered. So you can't make fun of our guy, but we can make fun of yours. See the issue? Like, I get it. I'm on your side. I, too, agree that a man brutally being murdered in front of everyone while half the country cheers it on is worse than what happened with George Floyd. I understand. I'm saying the argument is, if you're going to say we can make tons of jokes about one of them dying, but how dare you make a joke about our guy dying, you can understand how people will say, now, wait a minute. And I can't believe you put 2 super chats to people. You can say, I disagree, but what do you mean you don't understand? It's not a question of, is it bad or not? If you say, I'm allowed to mock people's death that I feel are bad or dumb or immoral, the other side's going to say, me too. And that's fine. No problem, Musnuggles. It's my fault for being frustrated because I'm not clarifying the message. Steve Norwitz, $10. Thank you so. Oh, God damn it. Says, wife and I watched Invincible last night just to see the anti-Christian messaging where Satan is actually a good guy. It all only goes one way. Really? The cartoon Invincible? I watched the first season and I don't remember Satan being in it, but I'm sure that that's usually how they do it, right? Season 1, kind of not that bad, and then... Is that what you're talking about, though? The cartoon? Is that true? Satan plays a character? Anyways, Zach Yelpy, $5 says, what are if they would have the same laissez-faire attitude when it comes to Muhammad? Well, yeah, right when you type that, thank you for the super chat. They actually brought that up, yeah. $5. Again, thank you, since their lives have been threatened. Not just threatened, they'd probably carried it out. That's fucking Charlie Hebdo. GG, thanks for the gifted membership. And then my wife, 11 months. Well, I'm really in it for the long haul. Yes, thank you, wife. Kirk Sense, $10 says, even at Hogwarts, they're oppressed. Yes. AJC, $5. The half-blood is Snape. The half-blood is Snape and African, and his mom was taken from a boat, obviously from a bad white wizard. These damn muggles. Darth Salvation, thank you so much. $5 says, it's the oversaturation and when it's historically inaccurate that bothers me the most. Yeah, I could have handled the historical inaccuracy if it was good and it wasn't oversaturated. Right? Like, I guess I don't... If that new Gladiator movie would have been good and it wasn't in the current market and they got Denzel to play, whatever his character was, I'd be like, yeah. But it's just the constant pushing of it, and it sucks. That's the thing. A woke game or a woke movie can still make money. It just has to be really good. You can have an average movie that'll make a decent amount of money, or you can have an average woke movie that'll fucking bomb. An excellent movie is going to do good either way, even if it has a woke message. Same with if GTA 6 has woke messaging, that motherfucking game's still going to sell like crazy, even if it's all sorts of woke shit in it. You know it and I know it because the hype's immeasurable. So great. $5 says, I'm also not playing a game if it's a female protagonist simply because I'm a man and I get immersed. Like cheering for the Pirates Pens, one from Pitt. Yeah. Right. I totally get it. Kirk Sense. $5 says, the 1300s lesbian night. It's so realistic. I heard someone say the best. Here, I'm going to spoil this lesbian night game for you. So they make the 1300s lesbian night game, right? And then I saw someone say, actually, you got it all wrong. So here's the plot of the game. You're the lesbian knight and your girlfriend's been kidnapped. And so you're like apparently on a lesbian rampage, like kicking everyone's ass to get to your girlfriend. But then, you ready? What do you think the ending is? And I heard everyone say it's so predictable. What do you think the ending to the game? Anyone take a guess? No problem, Haas Knuckles. Yes, I'm spoiling the lesbian night game. Take a guess at the ending. So I've been told. I haven't played it. No, it's not that she's a man. No, close. It was 13 something Votto. I forget. Someone had the name of the game. Yes, the end of the game is your girlfriend was actually the villain. So they have a lesbian fight, which, in fairness, yes. That's what people were saying. It's like, if you're going to make, yeah. Really? Domestic violence in a lesbian relationship? No. That's what people were saying in the fucking, the Harry Potter. It's like, so the one character you made black was Snape, who's trying to break up a marriage and sleep with a married lady. Sounds about right. Lean into it, right? I think that'd be hilarious. Just have every other character play it straight, like just British Harry Potter shit, and then just have Snape be like the most gangster fucking, 2020 black dude imaginable. All right, we can ride in these motherfucking homies. Let's go. Grab your wands, motherfuckers. Yeah, get him, Snape. That I would tune into. I'd be like, all right, good shit. Now we're talking. We've chosen to take it in a different direction. Snape, the paternity test came back. You are the father. I ain't raising no fucking kid. I'm going off to Hogwarts. Fuck this. Garnish my wages, you fucking muggles. And then instead of like the N-word every other word, it's just muggle. My muggle. But crack some of these muggle skulls up in here. I gotta watch myself. I'm gonna slip up. Yeah, Skid Row Snape. Yeah, it's nice. Good shit. I think that there's all of us are bitching. Don't act like you wouldn't tune in for that. You'd be like, all right. All right. I'll watch this. It's like fucking Boys in the Hood meets Harry Potter. All right. Yeah. We'll take it. I'm sorry, Mugga. Yeah. With a soft A. All right. More super chats. Wicked Wally, $5 says, don't even get us started on how woke and pathetic modern horror is. Oh, my goodness. Re-examination show, $5 says, looking forward to the female illegal robnoerr show. It's not your show. Yes, well, we all know women would do it better, right? McCarrigo, thanks so much. $5 says, great job on the extravaganza last night. You were pissed and laid on the truth. Thanks, buddy. Thank you. I'm still a little pissed. My back hurts, so it helps me be pissed. Zach Yelpy, getting closer to that $7,000. $10 says, one, get total power. Everything else comes with it. So they're trying to gain the power first, and then it doesn't matter. They'll get the bottom line in the end because they have the power. That's exactly it. Money is just a tool to power. What good's the power if you can't wield it in ways you want? So they don't give a shit. They'll destroy these properties and they don't give a fuck. James, 12 months, says, you're too hard on Trump. You're too soft on Trump. It's true. Bail Factor, who, by the way, did give me an N-word pass. I don't know if I got I still have to use the soft A on the word muggle, though. Thanks so much. $10 says, ever notice when the left is gloating, they laugh about how entertainment's always owned the chuds, but when they need to be victims, the far left's just a bunch of stupid college kids? Of course. They're always like, why does this shit matter? Why do you care? Why do you care about this? And it's like, okay, then you won't mind if we change it back. No! That's outrageous. For Tom, $5. Snape pulls his wand to the side. They kind of do, though, don't they? Or maybe that's just Voldemort. Doesn't he hold it like kind of like this? I don't know. I'll be honest, I watched the Harry Potter movies. I enjoyed them, to be fair, but to me, it wasn't like Lord of the Rings. Like Lord of the Rings, I really enjoyed. Harry Potter's like, it's fun. Years ago, we went to Universal Studios with like their Harry Potter setup. It's cool as shit. It really was. Like the whole little village. They kept calling me, like the actors that are there, they kept asking me if I was related to Mr. Haggard. I was like, no.
Mr. Haggard or the big guy?
Yeah, what's his name? Is it Haggard?
Hagrid.
Hagrid, yeah.
Yeah.
So
and the reason why they hold it to the side is because they were British, right? They were posh. So it was like they were drinking tea.
Oh, so it wasn't
right?
gangster.
It was more with the pinky out. Pinky out.
Yeah. I'm a muggle, so I have an M-word pass. Thank goodness. I remember, like, one of my favorite articles ever was this kid got detention for calling his teacher a muggle. I was like, if my kid ever gets detention for calling his teacher a muggle, we're having him a pizza party when he gets home. I'll be like, that's right. Tell that muggle bitch to shut her mouth. These damn muggles keeping my son down. Tired of them. Oh, man. Culture, baby. It's weird, though, because I'm at the, like, I watch kid shit. You know? I'm watching Bluey. I watch a lot of fucking YouTube videos about sea monsters I've been watching lately. You know? I don't know.
Did you watch the Netflix Dinosaur with Hanks yet? The new dinosaur one?
Yes, I think. If it's the one I'm thinking. So, I mean, for me, it's like, I don't care. I'm not the target audience for a lot of this shit anymore. Like, I ain't buying comic books. So if comic books want to be woke and they think that that's, okay. I feel like there's an audience out there for this shit. I mean, look, to be quite honest, in the most tangential way ever, I'm sort of in the same industry. I guess I'm an entertainer. And I think one of the reasons that, not me specifically, but that people like me, including people with huge numbers of people like maybe Asmongold or Mr. Beast or, you know, one of the reasons they're so popular is people are looking for entertainment options. And a lot of that has to do with the failures of television, movies. Now, some of it was inevitable because the internet is what it is. But I think there's a lot of people that maybe used to be like, oh, it's Friday night, go to the movies or find, you know, what's on HBO, rent a movie, you know, from Blockbuster or back when you had to get the physical DVDs from Netflix or shit. And I think, like me, I used to love the movies. I check what movies are coming out. I get excited. I can't tell you the last time that I was excited for like a movie coming out. Like now, there's a couple I'll be like, I like going to the movies with my son. So I'll be like, oh, that new Zootopia movie's coming out. That's about it. I don't know if that movie would be good or not. It's just a movie that my son may be interested in. That's it. That's all Is there a kid movie out? And guess what? There's always a kid movie in the theater. So it's just a matter of he'll get an interest in one of them and we'll go see it. And it might suck, but it's sort of irrelevant. I'm not going because I enjoy the movie. I'm going because my son does. Or at least he likes the popcorn and the candy and the slushie. You get there. The movie's just an excuse to go get the slushie. You know? But I don't give a shit. I don't really like the movie industry now. It's like, good, fuck them. You know, and it's really hard. Like, look, there's part of me, I am a big softie. I really am. I actually give a shit about illegal immigrants. Somewhat. At least the ones that, like, legitimately came here to work hard. Like, all 2% of them or whatever. But I can't afford, it's like, I literally feel like, I know that this analogy isn't literally true, so I shouldn't use the word literally, but it's directionally true. It's like we're basically at war. Not with physical violence, but with demographics, with culture. And so if I'm in the trenches in World War I, and I'm like, I don't know, I sort of feel bad for that German dude over there. My general's going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Shut up. Charge. That's how I feel. So it's like, Yeah, man, I respect the fact if you came here to do the right thing, you gotta go. See ya. But Rob, my specific situation, I'm sure it's great. Goodbye. But my wife's pregnant. Take her with you. That's it. Sorry. I believe that there are people that their story is like, that's terrible. And if I was king and I could solve all these problems, I would let you stay. But I'm not. And I know if I let you say that our opponents that want to destroy me and my family are going to use the fact that you were allowed to stay to make sure that 10 million other people can as well. And so you all must go. Don't blame me. Blame those people. Blame the people that fought tooth and nail to keep the gangsters in and the rapists in and the murderers in. Blame them. Because of them, you got to go. If I have house guests over and all of a sudden they're tearing they're fucking get a keg and they're tearing the fucking pictures off the wall and smashing holes in the wall and shit, I'm like, you guys got to go. And if one of them goes, but not me, I was good. I was trying to read a book. I'm sorry, dude. You got to go. So when I heard about like the Hollywood strike, oh, AI is going to take these jobs and shit. Part of me's like, that sucks, man. I don't want anyone to lose their job. I really don't. I'm like, yeah, that sucks, man. And look, a lot of these people aren't fucking, they're not Robert Downey Jr. They're not all George Lucas. They're not all Stephen King. You have people writing fucking commercial jingles and, they're getting by, but those are the people that are going to be hurt the most. And I feel bad. But I also know all of those people hate me. They fucking despise me. They think I'm a fascist and I'm a bigot. And if I got killed, they'd laugh in my fucking corpse and then make fun of my wife and my kid. That's who they are. So, fuck them. I ain't gonna lose sleep over it. Your industry's dying. You thought it was funny. When my fucking town was dying, and it's been dying for a long fucking time. Hey, life moves on. Sorry, learn to code. Okay. Fair enough. That's the amount of compassion you had for people my way of life. By the way, they've been struggling for 30 years. You guys have been living high in the hog. Well, you fucked now, aren't you? Oh, well. AI came for your shit? That's a shame. Anyways, get back to me when you give a shit about Owen, Illinois that closed in town and all the people I knew lost their fucking careers of 20, 30 years. My dad went into work at R&S Vinyls on a Tuesday and they told him, pack your shit up, you'll be done Friday. Spent 18 years working there. Then as a fucking man in his late 40s, he has to completely start over. You give a shit about that? Oh, you didn't give a fuck. You didn't have shit all to say. And that story's repeated thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of times in small towns all across this country. You didn't give a fuck about flyover country, did you? Didn't care, did you? Did not give a fuck. But now, oh guys, don't use AI. It'll hurt the movie industry. It'll hurt the... That's a shame. I have one buddy that does graphics and shit. I'll pay him. Look at that. Wow. Wow. Boy, I would have had to pay an artist a decent amount of money. Oh, well. Maybe if you motherfuckers weren't so morally righteous that you thought we were the scum of the earth and were okay with anything happening to us, maybe then we'd give a shit. We don't. I still kind of do, if I'm honest. But I just don't give a shit in my outward projection of what I think we should do as a country anymore. Oh, of course they joked about the trucking industry dying, the coal industry. My fucking buddy works on gas wells. I watched this motherfucker go to like college things where these left-wing dudes I know are. And when they found out that he worked on gas wells and was doing fracking and shit, he's responsible for fucking global warming and this, that, and the other. Guess what? He's still got a job. He's still doing really well. Good luck to you all. Good luck in your education careers. I hope it's going well for you. All right, before I go, do I have any other super chats? Is Austin Hall going to win tonight? Son of a bitch. Vortome, $5 says Snape holds his wand to the side. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. And then, how long, Nate? Speaking of truckers, $5 says the Wizards in the hood are always hard. Oh, I get what you're saying. And level 4 Lobster, another trucker, delivery guy. That still counts. Fucking killing it out there, working hard. Says Rob, the Ryan and Connor video is a must watch. I know, I will check it out. Ryan's doing good, man. I do have something to show you related to my channel. Now, I have this tremendous editor, Black Elk. Eventually, I'm going to replace him with AI. But for now, he's a great dude. He does excellent work. And I had commissioned for him, if I could find it. Where is it? Not seeing it. A new intro video. And he did not disappoint. So we're going to be putting this up shortly. So I'll give you all that are watching on a random day here a little sneak peek of the intro video that's going to be, if you just click on my channel for the first time, it'll be the video that shows up. So give your honest opinion. If you like it, dislike it, or whatever, we can handle it. But, all right, here we go. Hey! 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 Hi! Welcome, folks. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Normal America Show. Normal America Show. Normal America Show. Normal America Show host Robnoerr. Hi! Every time you're getting blown the fuck out on the specific facts, you go in this big interruption tirade, you spurk out, you're like, oh, okay, how about we do this? I can give you, let me finish.
You have no idea. No, I'm not going to let you.
You can't control yourself because you know you're incapable of winning a debate. You're an army of 6,000 that are all dog shit. I'm an army of 1 that crushes you constantly. You booted me? Wow. A rage quit for the Destiny Miser. Like you don't know because he didn't, Bob. Okay, now I want you give me a quote. I'm trying to give you a quote, but you're spurting out. It seems like you're very reticent to talk specifics.
It is a fire hose of bullshit, bro. You just spew bullshit.
Go ahead and interrupt. I understand why you'd be reticent to want to get into specifics with me because I think you'll know the outcome. It seems like you're trying to perpetuate your status as a victim.
I'm telling you, there's nobody better in the world that I've seen who's better on normative political claims than Robnoerr on the right. Even Destiny acknowledges that this is true. There's not anybody to substitute him with.
Robnoerr versus Vosh. When's it happening, Vosh?
I feel like the combos I've had with Rob weren't that interesting in the past. I don't normally run it through like on pity. I don't know. I have to think about it.
Robnoerr, you've been waiting.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
I had a really, really bad interaction with Robnoerr.
You have to be really prepared when you're talking to him. He'll have all of his like facts and figures out.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, like he just steamrolled me. It was brutal. And I mean, I was like, yeah, I number one, completely underestimated you in the tone and everything else. And I was just not ill prepared for it. It's humiliating.
Hold on, can you acknowledge that you're being a massive piece of shit by?
Hey! I don't have to see this shit. Fuck you! Oh shit! Not the panel verse! Oh no! Not the fucking panel verse! Those yammering bitches can shut up.
Fucking lefties will laugh at you when you're murdered and make fun of your fucking wife. Fuck them all. Not one step back.
Gibbs there looking like fucking just got back from Paisley Park. Fucking one of Prince's bodyguards or some shit. I thought Black Elk did a great job. It's good stuff. So we'll be putting that up at the channel. Yeah, it's a good intro. Yeah, it's hyped, right? Motherfuckers don't want to debate me anymore. They know. I'm telling you, man, I don't know what it is. Here's the thing. Oh, AJC, thanks so much for the $50. Really appreciate it. I do have to get running. I do want to say this, though. So I know that I'm fucking yelling and screaming a lot at people in the audience. My back's a little sore. It's a shitty excuse, but whatever. I don't know. I'll be honest. The political situation not looking very good right now. It's not. And you could watch the extravaganza yesterday, or you watch my show yesterday to see what my feelings are on that. But I thought about this a lot last night. And I am fucking super pumped to get to work and start researching like I used to and start crushing these motherfuckers in debates and start pushing, primarying people, pushing actual politicians that I know. I'm going to start putting out more content. I'm going to try to be putting out regular short form videos like the shorts I used to do and stuff like that on a nearly daily basis. I got some stuff coming down the pipe, some different shows that I'll be working on, etc. So for me, when things get shittier, it motivates me to actually work harder. So that's where I'm at. Whip wheel stuff, real quick, if someone wants to do one, but I do have I have a hard out here at noon. I really do. I got a phone call that I got to take. So, and then my wife explains to me that we have to take the dog to the dog sitter since we're going on vacation. So, what debate was that? Where can I find it? Which one? The ruminate debate? Pondering now he goes by? I can't find that motherfucker. Because when I got mass reported, I had to delete like hundreds of live streams. So I think that's one of the ones that got deleted in that shit show. But he knows. I fucking crushed him. They all know. So, all right. Austin Hall wins today. We fell $120 short. That son of a bitch. He'll probably be running his mouth 2 days ago again. What do you think of that? Yeah. Yeah. Vosh has really lost a lot of weight. So that picture is not exactly accurate. The horse stuff, good, but he has lost weight. Good for him. Hard to keep up with the horses when you're, a little overweight. So good for you, Vosh. All right. I too need an anxiety pen. We're not going to raid anyone. I'm just going to head out. Thank you guys so much. I'll try to stream tonight or tomorrow. I'm going on vacation, so it'll be YouTube only. So please check out YouTube if I do stream it, because it's going to be just for my phone. And then I'm supposed to be back Sunday. So, but all right. Talk to you all soon. Thanks so much to Avarice. Thanks to my editor, Black Elk. Thank you to all the moderators. Thank you to everyone who donated. Hope you enjoyed the show today. We'll be back soon. Take a moment while we're talking about all this stuff. They're making fun of Drewski, making fun of Erica, Kirk, and shit. That's fine. Jokes are fine. But never forget, they killed a great man, a great father, and then they laughed at his family. Never forget what the stakes are. So say a prayer for them. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. As always, have a...
Only in America is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it. Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things, for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here to make somebody else's life better, the pursuit of liberty and freedom. You know what gives me strength? The hundreds of thousands of you that say, Charlie, keep going.
1 Corinthians 5 and 15. So that's all pretty amazing evidence, not just intra-biblical evidence, but extra-biblical evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God of all.